me and Ryan have been officially welcomed to the jungle that is Barstools Sports.
Our white whale, Sidney Crosby.
Shave his head! Shave his head! Shave his head!
Ryan Whitney, Paul Bissonette, R.A., Mike Grinelli, Spittin Chiclets.
What is up, folks? Welcome to episode 579 of the Spittin Chiclets podcast, presented to you by Keith's got the shirt on pink. Whitney, Labor Day is coming. Biz, is there a Labor Day in Canada?
I have no clue.
Okay, well, either way, you can celebrate our Labor Day with some pink Whitney. Up north, in the States, in Mexico, wherever you can get it, wherever you can drink it, enjoy the end of the summer. Kind of the official end of the summer. I don't think on the calendar it's the end of the summer, but the official kids back to school, NFL and college football starting end of summer. So Pink Whitney is where it's at. We got the shots, we got the nips, we got the big bottles, we got the little bottles, we got it all. Keith's got the merch, we got great hats. Go check it out if you haven't. And Canada does celebrate Labor Day first Monday in September. Okay, so all right, shout out Labor Day in both countries and shout out Pink Whitney. Guys, what is going on? How you guys doing?
I'm great. Back in Florida. Kids started
you're back,
school,
dude.
Which I think, speaking of Labor Day, no school should start before Labor Day, but they do down here in Florida, which
brutal.
Which stinks. Takes away from my last, every week in Nantucket means a lot. You know that, Whit, right? I think
truly.
I think it'd be nice to be coming back next week. But been here since last Tuesday, so it's been nice to get back, sitting out here, talking to you guys. Just kind of reminds me that hockey season's coming soon. Yes. I know it's not as soon as football season. We got a couple of weeks of that before we get training camp and everything going. But I'm excited to be chatting with you guys. Busy just coming back from his tennis match, so that'll be fun to talk about.
So you play tennis, Biz? I see a tennis racket over there.
I've had this tennis racket for like 4 or 5 years. I did an event for the Coyotes when I was working with them, and I had to buy one. So I just figured every summer when I come up, who knows, maybe I'll get asked to play tennis, and it doesn't seem like it's that hard to lug around. So I just throw it in the truck and I bring it up. So that's
not trying to be a hardo, but I would play you in tennis. And
you'd smoke me.
Oh,
you would smoke
damn.
me. I can't figure out the process of the where you meet the ball in tennis. So every time I hit it, it just goes into orbit. Where ping pong, I'm a little bit.
Send it. I send it.
The only racket sport I'm good at is pickleball, but I feel like everybody and their grandma is good at pickleball. So it's not like you're that skilled. But you would get at least most of the time hit it over the net, and you get a good aerobic workout. So to me, pickleball is the way to go. And then if not that, a little bit of ping pong. But I was going to throw it back over to you, Jans. I saw you were rubbing elbows with Caesar, Big C's, down in Florida. Where'd you see him at?
It was a autograph, like a card Comic-Con type thing, like a card show.
He's getting card gigs now?
Oh, dude, you think he wasn't? You should have seen his line. You should have seen my line. It was a joke. But yeah, obviously great to see him. Just a class act, and he's always wanting to chirp you. But it's called the Hobby Card Show. Is the guys that put it on. Unreal guys. Had everything dialed up for us, sitting there. You take pictures, sign some autographs. Who was there? Oh, your boy
I feel
Nick
like
Cousins.
Upper Deck should
Nick
make
Cousins
a Caesar card.
Yeah, they did.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I don't know.
They got
should have a card.
Yeah,
I know.
They should have a super fan section for and then make them all like what do you when you tilt them, they're a different color. How do you say that?
Like a hologram?
Yeah, like a hologram.
Yes.
Yeah,
Special super fan holograms. Oh, how about that tongue twister? I should be fucking working for Upper Deck over here.
Say it again.
The super fan hologram, bitch.
Super fan hologram. But
here comes Big C's on the super grand hologram. Oh no, super fan, not super gram.
He's just like busy.
Yeah, he's wheeling, and it's like got flames in the back of his tires.
He told me he gets 21 miles on his wheelchair. It's unbelievable. He said he used to drive it to the game from his house. He must have lived like 5 miles away, and he would drive it to.
How fast can it get?
I didn't ask that, but he was. I was just chatting with him quick, like, "How's your summer been? Like, how was the Stanley Cup parade? All that stuff." He was like still just in shock that like he was a part of it. The guys just drew to him. Obviously, very complimentary of you guys, just getting him in there and being a part of the celebration and everything. But he just, you would have thought they had just won it a day before with like how excited he still was about it. It was great to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. If he could ever smash you again this upcoming playoff, it would be, you should have to go like live with him or something if he dummies you again.
Be his butler.
Yeah.
Drive him to games, drop him off at the front door.
You gotta charge the chair. You
Yeah.
gotta do all the stuff that he doesn't feel like doing for a month.
Yeah, I could be Caesar's bitch. I think a week would be sufficient. I think even from last year, I should have to go drive and be his butler for game one. We're getting his season ticket this year. That was part of the Biz Idiot.
I forgot about that.
We're getting his season ticket, so I should have to be his bitch for game one. We'll talk to him about that.
Yeah,
They should at least give him like a special parking spot for when he gets to the games. He must have like a section where they do a tailgate beforehand.
Yeah.
Do they do a lot of those down there?
Yeah, they do. Especially during playoffs, they do. I don't know how much during the regular season, but I know in playoffs it's buzzing out there. And kind of like Raleigh, how North Carolina is, but yeah, they get it going.
Who just had their... Oh, yeah, so Sam Reinhart had his cup party. Oh, but is Pasha on? Pasha went to Sam Reinhart's cup party. He got buckled with him.
Of course he did. And he
Where
just
is
rubbed the Devils' names from their 3 cups the whole time. They're like, Pasha, come have a drink.
He's like, babe, look at this.
I'm just rubbing Ken Danico's name on the cup.
What was it like? What was it like being at Reinhardt's party back to back? It felt like he was doing a lot more things publicly too. Like he was in the news a little bit more with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think like just kind of more, like you said, more public facing. Last year, the party was at the family house, and it was an amazing time. So we were all kind of wondering how that was going to get topped. And then this year, a family friend of theirs, like one of the biggest developers in town, hosted the party on the water at his shack. It was just like insane house. So hell of a party. And as you saw in that video, Biz, that you sent, a couple cocktails were had. Sammy was rightfully letting his hair down, having a good time.
Well, they had him cutting like a Hockey Hall of Fame promo, and he's buckled. He's been drinking all day. Probably went out the night before. And he's keeping it on the rails, just like he was in that chicken ad that he did right afterward too. Because all of them were doing
Raising Canes.
Yeah, what's it called? Raising Canes.
Yeah.
They got these guys doing DQ and Raising Canes ads. They can't even see straight.
They sound like Merles after Vegas.
Yeah, the Stanley Cup Hockey Hall of Fame video. They come in at the Hockey Hall of Fame.
But that's like authentic, right? Like that's like you're watching a legit legend of the game in the past few years be crippled, announcing like, "Come on down to the Hall of Fame, get a picture with me. Couple years I'll be living outside this place on the street, but I won those couple cups." The guy has back-to-back game-winning Stanley Cup clinching goals. Like he should be.
Well,
crippled.
didn't he have every single one of them in Game 6 this year?
Yeah,
fucking guy passed the puck for Christ's sake.
Any other Panthers there?
No. It was actually nice though, because Sam's name lined up literally side by side from the last 2 years, and it was nice kind of seeing the empty patch beside it where Nico Hischier and company's name is going to be next year.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Way to ruin a story.
I had to mention the Devils somehow.
Who is the drunkest brother? Because they got 3 Reinhardt boys.
Definitely Sam. Definitely Sam.
Sam?
Good.
Okay. Griffin and Max kept it together.
Keeping it pretty on the rails. It was nice. The night before, it was like a more intimate dinner at the spot Giardino's in town, kind of like an OG Italian spot. So that was like probably 20, 30 of us. That was nice getting to actually hang with him, because the next day at the party, there was, 130 people there. So he's getting swarmed. He's just doing photos nonstop. And they're doing the espresso martini shots out of the top of the cup. So like, no wonder he was fucking cross-eyed, because like everyone is coming up. Let's take a photo, do a shot. So, yeah, it was great. It was because of the Air Canada shit going on with the strikes. He ended up getting it for 2 nights instead of like 1. So it was, it kind of worked out.
Oh yeah. Did you hear about the strikes?
Air Canada is something else, Biz. And Pasha, you too. As that being your country's airline, what a fucking joke, man. You guys are being laughed out of the building in the airline space.
It's a fucking disgrace.
What is going on
I think
there?
I think that they need more options in Canada. It seems to be.
It's a monopoly.
Stranglehold.
Yeah, it's not a monopoly. It's a
two.
buy monopoly because there's two airlines. Like WestJet
like that.
has a. I'm saying it wrong, but WestJet has a strong presence. Air Canada being the biggest. I would say the biggest gripe that I agree with the workers on is they don't get paid until the plane takes off. So if you're sitting for 4 hours on the tarmac, you ain't getting fucking paid. That's bullshit. Imagine dealing with
that should make them want to take off and not us sitting on the fucking tarmac for 4 hours.
Fair point.
Well,
Let's take
that ain't
off.
their fucking problem. They're just there to serve you drinks and smell your farts. That's what Hans would call them, fart sniffers.
That Elliott tweet cracked me up. Like there's some absolute jackass pilot out there that's been rooting for the Leafs since he was born. He's like, "Welcome to Toronto, the home of the future Stanley Cup champs." The whole plane's like, buddy. Even Leafs fans on the plane are probably like, "Bro, Biz is flying this fucking plane right now." Like, imagine Biz flying a plane and like swiping right on right.
Everybody,
like,
buckle up your
birds.
seatbelts. Buckle up your seatbelts. It's our year.
It's Paul Biz
Please stow away your trays.
Your
Turn
pilot.
all of your technology off, and we're about to land.
None of the lavatories work. Just pee in your bed.
Yeah, I'll hold your cock for you. Just empty it up front over here in first class. Where were we? We were talking. Yeah, Air Canada striking. Obviously, we can blame
How about
Pearson
Fleetwood?
Airport.
Dude,
I mean, I think a lot of people called it, but I just felt it was coming.
that's a good sign for the Leafs.
That's why I'm back on the Leafs train getting it done this year. I predicted that a few weeks ago. I said, Tommy's going to get it done. Did I know he was going to get it done at the Tour Championship? For the half golfers who listen to our podcast, who don't really know what's going on, this is kind of like the finals of the full season. Now, it used to be called the FedEx Cup. Is it not the FedEx anymore?
I think it still is. Yeah, it is.
It's only a certain amount of golfers who have accumulated a certain amount of points, where there's only a
30.
field of 30 golfers, and the winner of this tournament gets paid what? 3 to 4 times more than any other tournament paid out the entire season long?
I think he got $10 million.
I thought it was $15 million.
Is that the tournament where so Scheffler would have started like minus 20 or whatever? Like they get like a
so
leg
it used
up?
to be it's a kind of a goofy way that they do it. I hear a lot of different ideas for how you could maybe change it. Kind of like match plays, like the one you hear most. But for a while they made it. For a while it was you could win that tournament, the Tour Championship, but then there'd be a different FedEx Cup winner. So that was kind of like, we don't want like 2 winners, you know what I mean? Like, and then they went to the handicap system where if you were number 1, like Scheffler, you start at minus 10, and then the next guy's minus 8, 7, 6, 5, and so on and so forth. And then that was kind of even more ridiculous because it's like, all right, what are we doing here? And then they went, this was the first year of just top 30 guys go. Whoever wins the FedEx Cup. But it is crazy that Scheffler literally just dominated everyone and didn't win the FedEx Cup. So It's like, I don't think there's a way to make everyone happy, because even if you went to match play, you're still, and that guy loses first round. It's like, well, Scheffler still was the best player this year. So I don't know, but Fleetwood, Biz, I played golf with a guy who, it was Crow, Keith. He's like, hey, I was listening to the pod. They were up in Lake George. That place sounds sick, by the way, in New York near Saratoga. And I was listening on the way home, and it was 2 weeks ago when you were like, yeah, he's getting one the next couple weeks. You did call it. Now, he'd been all over the leaderboards and top of the leaderboards and kind of collapsing, but you called it. And I do think, even though it's 30 guys, it's the best 30 guys of the year.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, like, to me, I consider that, and it being the FedEx Cup Championship, that's a legitimate win for me.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be a major.
And for a little bit more context for you non-golfers, like this Tommy Fleetwood, he's 34 years old. He's currently ranked now, after winning at maybe 6th. Maybe he was 6th even before going in, but one of the top money earners on tour. So many times has he finished in the top 5. I believe 11 more in the last 40 years than any other player without winning a tournament. So many times recently, he would have the lead going into the final day, and he would have it going into the back 9, and he would choke, triple bogey, couldn't make a 5-footer to extend for a playoff, like just these crazy scenarios. And obviously the last tournament of the year where it's worth the most money and all eyes are on the whole tour, he ends up pulling it off. And he had a great week. He had a share of the lead, I believe, going into his last day. I even looked, like, he's obviously never won a major, but he's finished top 5 in every single major. Like going back to, I think 2018, he finished like second at one, third at another one, third at another one, and then fifth at the fourth. So the fact that he's even finished top 5 in all 4 of the majors is so impressive in what he's been able to accomplish in golf, other than obviously winning a tournament. So just kind of crazy that he ends up getting it done with and battle through all the adversity and the mental grind of having to deal with all those choke jobs.
And the PGA Tour season, it was kind of crazy. Like Rory got the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Scheffler crushed everyone, throughout the rest of the year, and then Fleetwood gets a win. It was pretty sick in terms of like different storylines throughout the year. But the Ryder Cup's my favorite thing, and now that's like front and center. Same weekend as Chiclets Cup, so we'll be battling. Keith and I will be battling you, and US will be battling Europe.
Yeah.
I mean,
next is Goodell too. We're going after the PGA. We're going head to head, and then Goodell after that Sunday.
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna do our next Chiclets Cup on Super Bowl Sunday. It's gonna be sick.
Smart.
It's gonna be sick.
But
Biz, have you
also,
seen?
I
Hold
think
on,
one
sorry.
of the things.
Go ahead.
I think one of the things that people are emphasizing too is, just going back to Tommy though, is the way he's handled these losses too. Some of these golfers can get a little bit poopy pants.
A little bit.
He's a class act.
And
they don't
he's
even
just
talk to the media after.
Yeah. And he's kind of handled it with complete grace and class throughout all those hardships, right, Whit?
Oh, big time. Like every time he's like, I'm going to get it done. Like staying real positive. The old saying, my dad said it to me about coaching Ryder, like relentless positivity. Like just kind of like, even when you think it's like, hey, I got to be negative here. Like it seemed like Fleetwood always was just like, I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. And you'd think at one point, maybe he would leave those interviews and just be staring at out the window on the ride home, like in shock. But at least like public persona wise and how he would come off to everyone, it's like, dude, like, how do you not root for this guy? He keeps having all these heartbreaks and he keeps just being positive about it after. I think you could learn a lot in any sport watching him in defeat, like gracious in victory, gracious in defeat. The guy can't get a win on the PGA Tour. Before he won, he had 30 top 5s in 160 starts. Like that's fucking crazy to not have one of those go your way. But did you watch Biz the final round? Were you out and about, or were you sitting down seeing
I was
any
on
of
a
it?
boat, and then we ended up watching the last few holes.
Did you watch Cantlay and how slow he plays golf?
Yeah, so I was just going to ask you about that as a follow-up. That seemed to be the other big conversation, and how many times he wiggles, and that's probably like a mental thing, right?
Probably.
I mean, he's front and center going against Fleetwood neck and neck, right? So obviously it was on display. It became the conversation online. What's the ruling on that? Like, what's the shot clock?
I think technically if you like went by the rules, he could have been like put on the clock or given a penalty. I don't know for sure though. I just more know that you're standing there and you wonder, like, is this guy trying to like ice him out and be even slower? He's known to be slow. But then the other aspect is like, if you're taking that long and you're that good, like you can't really say that much. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you were playing golf with somebody that was literally standing, they counted. It was like 30 different like feet shuffles before he hit the ball.
36. I think Phil Mickelson was commenting on it.
50 seconds it took him to hit the ball.
From the time he addressed it.
Yeah.
So, but
That's
here's the
insane.
thing. If you're with somebody that's doing that,
I'd lose
and
my mind.
every single shot they
I would.
stripe down the middle, it's like,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I bet you through the course of a whole round, the time that you spend looking for your ball is the same amount of time he's wiggling.
Yeah.
Or the
like
extra,
three putting.
or the extra shots that you have to take. So, like you said, Whit, if he's striping it every time, at least for me, but then you're on tour, so every guy's striping it.
Yeah.
And he the slowest? Undoubtedly, like
Harmon's
he wears
slow.
the crown.
I think, I think Harmon's very slow. Harmon does the waggle with the club. Cantlay does the movement of the feet. I saw something that if like Harmon ever made the Ryder Cup team and you paired those two together, like the team from Europe playing against him would like quit. They'd be like,
They get
all right,
laughed.
I want to see it. Now
They
I
get
want to
laughed.
see it.
like they're just like standing there, like hit the ball, hit
I
the
don't
ball.
think I don't think anything is more aggravating to me than slow golfer.
Yeah, and you can like, yeah, I know. I think that it's
You and
probably
Tarnowski.
a big issue.
Except I'm not
Tarnowski
beating
took
anyone
that. He took that and just he's like, you ain't playing slow in front of me, buddy, and you ain't being crippled and playing slow in front of me. I'm gonna chuck you in a pond twice.
Fleetwood should have hired Tarnowski for the final round.
Cameo. That actually, you brought up the Ryder Cup being your favorite event. Now,
My
there's also
favorite
this.
sporting event.
Oh
of
wow,
anything.
that big? Okay,
Yeah,
I guess fuck you, Stanley Cup.
yeah. Cup's cool.
Yeah, it's your buddies with Keegan Bradley. The question is, should he play and be captain? I don't see a reason why not. Is this being made out to be a bigger deal than it is?
I think he should. Like, if you earn, I know Whit would know more than me. Like, he's earned, like, the way that he's played, right? Like, he would be, like, he was in the talks last year, I remember from that show. Like, he was in the talks of being on the team. And then this year getting the captaincy. Has that ever happened?
Not in a long time. I know like Arnold Palmer did it
Yeah.
in like 1960s or something. He would be getting picked if he wasn't captain. So that and
So
like,
maybe the guys tell him, be like, hey, dude, like the first two guys be like, you got to put yourself
I
on the
think
team.
some guys have told him that. I think it's pretty evident he's going to pick himself. And I mean, my thing is it only makes it more entertaining. Like it
Right.
only makes the storyline of the tournament that much
Do
greater.
you think Rory was saying what he said, basically like, I don't think it should be done, or I couldn't do it to fuck with him?
No,
he's
I
gonna be on
don't
the other
think
team,
Europe
right?
would ever do it. I think Europe's like been how do you word this? I think it's pretty well known that the European team in the Ryder Cup is like more cohesive. Like I don't know if that everyone would agree with that, but I kind of sense that like
You're
they
saying
have
better camaraderie and communication and more about the team more than the individuals?
Yeah, a little bit. I do think that. And
It
I
almost
think
seems like, you know, when like Canada and USA go and play in the Worlds at the end of the year, like those Sweden teams and the Finland teams, they're more of like a, hey, we gotta win this, you know, right, Whit?
yes, and I think I'm not saying it means more by any means, but it seems like they're just more together as one than the U.S. team has been in the past. Although now it seems in this tournament that the home teams just win. So you set up the course the way you want to set it up. You get to, so like they've widened the fairways. They'll cut down the rough because U.S. has guys who bomb it. I mean, so does Europe. But you set, and then they went to France a few years ago in Paris, and they made the fairways tiny because Europe hits it straighter, and you know, little things like that. So it seems like you probably need an away team to win one of these to get the juices going even more. But the Ryder Cup's awesome. The Keegan Bradley thing's nuts because it's one way or the other. He picks himself, and even if he doesn't play good and they win, he was still a playing captain on a victorious Ryder Cup team, like a legendary story. If he picks himself and they lose and he plays bad, he'll be the most hated Ryder Cup captain of all time.
No, that other
But
guy
wait,
would be.
No, he
name-
would overtake Zach Johnson as like the most hated.
No.
Yeah,
I
for
don't-
sure.
Okay, so wait.
If he
so wait.
plays bad,
Time out.
I know.
Why would they put him in this situation?
That's what I was going to ask.
that is what everyone's saying.
This
So
the fact that it's not even already
lost in
solved.
Rome, Biz. They lost in Rome, and they kind of just wanted to flip the script a little bit. We always get these guys who played in a Ryder Cup that are 50 to 60 years old, or 45. They're out of their prime, and they were like, let's go with a guy that's on the tour that's just more in the mix. But they probably, or maybe this is all big brain theory, and they were like, he could be in the mix, and then that adds another storyline, even better ratings. But I'm with you, Biz. Like, yeah, to be in this scenario, it's kind of like he's played in 2 Ryder Cups, and he's probably like, well, I would have made it this year if I wasn't captain, so I want to play again too.
Fuck yeah.
So
And he
who,
was essentially like last cut last year. At least that's the way they made it seem
Yeah,
on TV.
they did make it look like
every
that.
2 years, don't they? Do
Him
it,
or
right?
like
Or
Justin
whatever it was,
Thomas. The show was like It was him or Justin Thomas. I
Yes,
think.
and then him and Zach Johnson were boys, so we took him, right?
That's how it kind of.
That's how they proceed.
Why don't they just make a guy like Fred Couples the coach? Like, what's wrong with him?
I actually don't know why.
I think he's been. Hasn't
no,
he been?
he's been President's Cup. Like, he hasn't been a Ryder Cup captain. I don't really know why.
Team Tuggies.
What about Tiger?
He's just too cool, maybe. Tiger will
Tiger,
be
it's like
someday.
almost too much of a distraction. Everyone just wants to hang around and watch him.
Oh, he'll be one for sure someday. For sure. And Phil Mickelson would have been one, and he's with the Saudis now, so I don't think he's ever going to be one again.
We've
or ever be one.
We've
So
talked
could
a
he
lot
play?
about
Those
golf.
guys can play, right? The live guys.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
So it's Bryson for USA is the only one, and then it'll be Rahm and Hatton for Europe. It's only 3 guys.
We've talked
And
a lot
is,
about golf.
Luke Donald the captain? Sorry.
Yeah.
Go
again,
ahead.
The Luke Donald story when Keith was hitting the sickest bunker shots I've ever seen. And I was like, dude, how did you get so good out of the bunker? He's like, I don't know. Some PGA Tour guy at the Grove just like saw me and gave me a lesson. I was like, what? Really? Who? He's like, Luke Donald. I was like, oh, he's known as the best bunker player like ever in the game.
What was the tip?
Not telling.
Shut your eyes.
But I also got putting lessons from Brad Faxton one time too, and you've seen me putt, so it's not like.
Oh shit.
I texted you this, Whit. I feel like Liv is just lame and dead.
Yeah. It just never caught on. It's the broadcast. It's the lack of like meaning anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just
he's got no soul.
Yeah, there's no soul. It's just
There's
a
no
money
soul.
grab. But you know what? Like we said, like those guys, awesome, dude. You're making millions and millions. But in terms of fans and engaging and being into it, it's like, what does any of this mean? Oh, Live Tour stop number 5 in Chicago. Guy wins $10 million. Go to the next week. I think it'd be cool to go to one though. I still think that
Fleetwood actually out-earned Rahm as far as like tournament play money.
Really?
Fleetwood made 18.5 this year. I think Rahm made about 10.5 or something. But he gets, didn't he sign a crazy deal? 250 million,
Yeah.
350 million to come over. So what's the punishment for when those guys head back over?
Nobody knows, and nobody knows if they'll ever. That's kind of a question that's been going on for what, 3 years, 2 years? Nobody knows. Maybe make them go to Q school. If you're that good, just qualify through Q school. You're back on the tour. You got to have some sort of like. You can't just like walk back in. I don't think.
We talked about. You guys have anything else on golf?
No. Oh, we can announce though. We're not going to give names, but so many people have been asking. They've been missing sandbaggers, right? We got 2 scheduled, and they're both bangers. So at some point, we got 2 coming to you. I know it'll take a little while. We're doing both of them in about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. So say 2-3 months, right? Pasha's probably puking as I say that, but 2 to 4 months, we'll have 2 more sandbaggers coming at you.
We talked about naming a captain for the Ryder Cup. How about name the mascot? The Gargoyles just unveiled.
Dude,
not only their new jersey.
What do you see when you see that mascot?
I don't know. I was kind of thinking of something stupid like batshit crazy.
Yeah,
Everyone's
Whit's ears.
saying we got the same ears.
Oh yeah,
I
Whitney.
feel like it was a
Whitty
subtle
one-timer?
shot by the rest of the ownership group of the Gargoyles. Hey, Whit, we're gonna give you.
Yeah, that's
like,
pretty close.
Hey,
Yeah.
and you're a very, very good mascot.
Yeah, you guys have seen me at the Pink Whitney Solar Bears game.
You
That's
You
should
want to
be on
throw in
that
some
mascot.
game tape? You want to put in some game tape to maybe jump in when we're there for the home
I'll
opener?
for sure jump in. Although maybe their guys like he ain't coming in. Grinelli's writing Grinny the Gargoyle. I kind of like Biz's Doyle the Gargoyle.
No, somebody posted that on our Instagram.
Oh.
Doyle's amazing.
Doyle
Hey,
the Gargoyle.
Doyle
is
the
great.
Gargoyle. Come on down.
What do you think, Jans?
I like Doyle a lot. He looks like a Doyle. He should have a sidey backy, the hair, like hair in the back, nothing on top. Yeah, he's a great mascot. I'll tell you that for
You mean
free.
like a skullet?
Yeah, the
Like
sidey
what Butch
backy.
Goring's got going?
Yes. I don't want that smoke with Butch though, like the Homer Simpson.
This is the only guy.
Should we
who
do?
does.
Maybe we should do a skullet where it's got it's also a mullet in the back,
Yeah,
kind of like Hulk Hogan, R.I.P.
All my buddies that come up to the games that we go to in Orlando, now that we're with Greensboro, they're all asking when the home opener is because they're going to be coming up with us.
Did you see? There's another East Coast Hockey League team.
Augusta?
Atlanta.
Yeah, and I think is it Tim Tebow was the owner?
Yeah,
Pretty sick.
Where did you say, Jans?
Augusta, I think.
Oh, I think Augusta's popping up. I heard
or
also heard
Atlanta?
Lake Tahoe.
No, this was somewhere in Georgia.
Yeah, I thought it was Augusta.
Maybe it was Gwinnett. It was either Gwinnett or
Lake Tahoe already has a team.
I think Tebow is actually already involved in that one too. In the ECHL, you can own up to 3 teams.
That's crazy.
What
That
do you
is
think-
diabolical.
What do you think? You think we're not going to have 3 by the time we're done?
Imagine
yeah.
Three
Jerry
each.
Jones owned 3 NFL teams.
We should each have our own team and just battle against each other.
yeah.
Oh, if one of our
Strange.
My
skill
team's
guys
getting the
gets hit,
shit kicked. We're getting the shit kicked out of us.
By Doyle. Hey, speaking of teammates, one of my fucking big dogs went down with an Achilles injury.
no training.
No, on the job. He's a fireman. On the
No.
job. Yeah. Fuck. Sorry, Scotty. Thinking of you, man. Hope you get
So now
better.
you're
Dude,
talking
he tore
about
his
Chiclets Cup.
Achilles.
Yeah.
So this is one of the Boston Stranglers you're talking about. What position did he play?
No, it's a guy in the Gargoyles, dude. Yeah, it's a Boston Strangler.
Well, I
he-
know we need to clarify for people listening, being like, where the fuck are they hopping in conversation?
true.
They're gonna be like, what do you mean? Who the fuck's this guy talking about? Firemen playing for the Gargoyles? Not happening.
Yeah, one of the guys for the Stranglers, one of my key guys, one of the first 2 guys I thought of when I sent out the text. It was Scotty Simpson and Brendan Collier were my 2 guys that I sent the text out to, and yeah, we lost one of them, but he'll be there. He'll be on the bench with you, Whit. Supporting the boys. He still has a key role with the team, with helping picking out the team. He's handpicked all these guys to bring Biz and his clown show down. So he'll still be there.
I wouldn't be shocked if we play you twice, mercy you both times. That's how good our
buddy,
team is.
you're
right now.
nuts. Mercy rule?
Mercy.
Okay.
Mercy.
You think a team?
Merci.
Have we announced who's on your team at all?
Me personally?
No, Keith's team.
I don't
I
think
don't know
we've
if he
announced
wants to talk about it. I'm going to mention it when we do our jersey unveiling.
Yeah, I
the
think we
Big
do
Deal
it like
Selects.
a week before, right? Maybe, I don't know.
I think in the next couple weeks you can let everybody know who's on your team.
Okay.
And then I'll even tell you who's on mine. You're gonna recognize a lot of the names because they're all like former world champions in ball hockey, and they're gonna run circles around you, and you won't know what the fuck hit you in your own hometown. But
How many
Keith,
new
do
guys?
we still have the guy that you showed me that Biz doesn't know is on your team?
Yes.
what am I gonna be afraid of? Is it nose face? That's like the worst possible thing that you could bring
You know
as
who?
far as skill and ugliness.
You know who brought fear into certain defensemen and goalies in the NHL was Vincent Damphousse. I think it's time we throw it over to this legend. Incredible story. We sat down with him. God, this was a long time ago, but truly an evergreen interview up in Montreal, where he's a legend, former captain of the Montreal Canadiens. I think we throw it over right now to Vincent Damphousse. Guys, it's Whit, and I need to talk to you about DraftKings. The rivalries, the marching bands, the upsets. Saturdays just got way more fun. College football is back. You think you know the game? Put your college football knowledge to the test with DraftKings Sportsbook and turn your picks into big payouts. From live betting during the game to rivalry week odds, boosts, and so much more, DraftKings Sportsbook has everything you need to stay in the action from kickoff to the final whistle. Whether you're betting on your go-to team or making moves mid-games as the momentum shifts, Saturdays are yours to own with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Here's something special for first-timers. New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Chiclets. That's code Chiclets for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Guys, Whit here, and I want to talk about Rowback, the best gear in the world. Roback just released their licensed game day collection for 58 different schools. Custom designs for each school. This is the best collegiate collection out there. Polos, hoodies, and quarter zips. If you're a college football fan, you wear Roback. Simple as that. If you're not a college football fan, do not worry. They still have the most comfortable hoodies in the game. With fall approaching, load up now to make sure you're ready. So use code Chiclets on Roback.com for a generous 20% off your first purchase through the end of the week. That's CHICLETS on RHOBACK.com. 20% off all polos, hoodies, and more with code Chiclets. It's an absolute pleasure right now to be in Montreal, where this man is from and a true legend, a member of the last Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup, former 6th overall pick, over 1,000 points, Vincent Damphousse. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
We appreciate it. And we kind of want to start it off. Biz missed out, but yesterday, Merles, myself, and Grinnell, we went over to, you own this Scandinave spa? Is that the name?
What it's 2 blocks from here.
Oh my God. When did you decide to do that? It's got sauna, steam room, cold tub, hot tub, silence. Silence is mandatory.
I wasn't invited.
That's reinforced. We don't want to hear you guys.
We got yelled at. Us rude Americans. They came over, stop talking.
That's good for you once in a while. Silence for an hour.
That's why I didn't get the invite, because I don't shut up.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't know when. Did you just open that recently, or what a cool spot?
No, so yeah, that's a great story. In 1998, I was playing for the Canadians, and I had bought a piece of land in Mont-Tremblant, and I was starting to build my house where I was going to spend my summers there while I was playing hockey. And just 2 guys that wanted to talk to me to present a project to invest and to be a shareholder. And it was actually a kilometer from where I was going to build in Tremblant. So I thought the idea was great, but I've never been to a Nordic spa before. So the only one in Quebec that was open at the time was called the Polar Bear in Saint-Sauveur. So I went and tried it, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was a great idea, and I liked the 2 guys that were pitching the idea because they were going to run the business. So I had to be had that confidence in them while I was playing hockey. And I thought the risk was worth, after 12 years playing hockey, the risk was worth it. And if I lost that money, well, it was be a good experience. And so it was kind of getting introduced to my after career as I was playing. It was I was 30 years old, and it just took off. It took off in Tremblant. It was our first one, and we just celebrated our 25th anniversary.
Wow, no way.
And you were ahead of this, because this is now getting huge in the last 3-4 years. You guys were way ahead.
Yeah, so we just celebrated 25 years. After skiing in Tremblant, it's the most popular activity in Mont-Tremblant. And in 2009, we opened Scandinave Montreal, where you went. And in 2010, we opened Scandinave Whistler. And in 2006, there's one in Ontario as well, Scandinave Blue Mountain.
Good
so there's
for
4
you.
locations.
That's a cool example of, while playing, looking towards the future, right? And like that's a pretty cool story, because the place was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's our only indoor one, so I'm glad you went. And,
really?
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Were you pretty turned on to that type of stuff when you were playing with the recovery and all that, or like?
I wasn't. It just kind of happened. The timing was great. I was more involved in the business side of hockey because I was VP of the Players Association in 2004 when we negotiated the new CBA with the league. So I was involved with the business side of hockey, and I was always wanting to be an entrepreneur and start something, but I thought the idea was cool. Okay, I got those 2 guys that can run the business while I get my feet wet.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things to learn, but we have 400 employees now throughout the sites, and it's been great.
Good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
I just want to quickly ask. There was a viral moment about people wondering what you gave Sid as far as a gift for player of the game. People thought maybe it was a scented candle. I think they were a little thrown off by the bag and like the garnish on top. What was in there?
It was 2 access to the Scandinave spa.
Hey,
Sid's over there right now.
Yeah. I like
no,
that.
actually, they told me there's a watch in the bag. So it's funny because you're not the only one that asked me that question. I had like 10 guys ask me, "Ooh, what was in the bag?" But it was a watch. I didn't
What
even
kind of
see the
watch?
watch. I don't know.
Okay, you didn't
Poor
get the
sponsor
t-shirt?
didn't get the
Let's hope they're
announcement.
taking care of the players, and it's not like a maybe a Tissot. Maybe hopefully it's a Rolex. Maybe
Yeah,
right?
probably. I'm sure Sid got a nice watch.
Once Sid got player of the game, they might have switched it up too. Been like, oh shit, we can't give him this one.
But I was stoked, and then they asked me the day before the game that I was going to present the player of the game, and I saw Sid have 2 assists first period. So I was like, oh, it could be.
yeah.
Could be Sidney Crosby. I'm still a fan, Like I never met Sid, so
Yeah.
I was happy to shake his hand and take a picture with him. And my son was 17-year-old was in the hallway. He filmed the whole thing. So
That's
pretty cool.
amazing.
It's pretty cool for me to have that.
Yeah,
invite.
because like going back, you played the '96 World Cup, so this has kind of the same feel to it. I know it's only the four teams with the Four Nations, but does it make you reflect back on your time representing
Oh,
Canada?
absolutely. The only time in my life that I represent my country was in 1996.
You never made World Juniors?
I was in Toronto playing for the Leafs.
You were already in the show.
So they didn't let me go to play that.
That's a
tournament.
flex.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
flex.
So I didn't get that chance when I was 18. And in the late 80s, early 90s, I was young, and it was a powerhouse of Edmonton Oilers with the Gretzky, Messi, Anderson, all these guys. There was a lot of talent. Very hard to crack that lineup when you think about it. And in 1996, Glenn Sader was involved, and I played for Edmonton for Glenn, so he knew me. And I think that's a bit of an advantage. Once you have a connection somewhere, you could get the lineup, you could get some ice time. So he put me with Gretzky. The first practice was like, whoa. So I had Gretzky and Yzerman or Gretzky and Linden. So that was our line for the whole tournament. So it was amazing. It was amazing for me to get that opportunity and have great memories.
I think Sather was quoted as saying, outside of Gretzky and Lemieux at the time, he thought that you were the most skilled forward in the league, and that's why he made the move for you. I mean, that's some high praise.
That is, I wouldn't go that far, but I always felt that he had my back and he liked me, and that goes a long way. When you're a player, when you feel that the organization is really likes you, and they gave a lot to get me in Toronto. There was a big trade. 7 guys were involved, and I was the youngest at 23. So when I went to Edmonton, it was the first time in my life that I got traded. So he sacrificed a lot, and he took a big risk on me. And so I wanted to make sure that I gave everything I had for Glenn and the organization in Edmonton.
When you played, the All-Star games were exciting. They were fun. We all wanted to watch them. They were competitive. Obviously, the last few years, that's fallen apart. This was a great event. What other ideas do you come up with that we could maybe replace the All-Star game with? Because after this weekend, it's going to be tough to go back to that.
Yeah, it's impossible to go back. To think that an all-star game will get that kind of intensity from the players. When you represent your country, and I lived it in 96, it's a different ball game. And with everything that's going on now politically, I think the game tomorrow against the U.S. is going to be fantastic. I mean, the
fans.
The fans are going to love it. I mean, the players can't wait to play. And I was there for the first game, and I'll be there tomorrow with my 3 sons. And the intensity is going to be off the charts. And you can't get that in the All-Star game. It's just, even it's too bad there's no Draisaitl. It's too bad there's other guys. But if you put a team that the rest of the world team, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
You got to represent your country to get that intensity from the guys. So
yeah. In 2016, they did it with the team.
They did North America.
Europe.
Yeah.
The North American was the Young Guns, but yeah, and they did pretty well. It's just not really the same. That's why the Olympics will be great.
Yeah.
But with this legendary career, like your numbers and stats, Stanley Cup, like we kind of love starting at the beginning and being a kid from Montreal with the legendary Canadian history. Like what was your beginning of the game? Like how did you fall in love with it? How did you get into it? Did your dad play? It's kind of the old story we ask everyone, but
well, no, my dad didn't play. He was the last of 21 kids. So he lived on a farm. He was raised by his sisters, and so he didn't have that opportunity. They didn't have money. They were living by the farm, and my dad's actually the only one that went to university, so he had that chance to kind of leave home and settle in Montreal and with my mom. And but as soon as we bought our first house when I was 8 years old, there was a little backyard, and my dad wanted us to skate, and he loved hockey. But
he loved it. He
didn't play. He would put his boots on and he'd pass us the puck, but he would have this great ice in the backyard. He would spend hours watering the backyard, had some little boards in the back, and my brother was a year and a half older than me, and I were playing every night until my mom called us in to go to bed.
That's unreal.
That's how we started, but I always liked all sports. And because my brother was competitive and older, I was always playing with his friends.
Chasing him around.
And I was playing with better players than me, so I improved because of that. And we were always together. So every second year, we're on the same team.
Oh, that's awesome.
How did you get your first pair of skates?
I don't know. I don't remember. I know I started skating, I was 3, and my dad was in charge of the schools in the area, and he had the key to the arena. So we would go, he would wake me up at 5:30, and we would go to the ice at 6 by ourselves, my brother and I, before the ice was rented out. So we had that opportunity, the ice outside. And I don't remember my parents really taking trips. Really, the money that they were, the extra money, were going to us, and I always felt fortunate to have that chance. We always had new skates, new equipment, new sticks, and I know they didn't have a lot of money, but they provided us with everything we needed to perform.
As a hockey dad, as you got older and better, like, was he just very supportive? Would he talk to you at times, be hard on you a little bit? Like, what was it like? I guess with him not playing, it's a little different.
Yes.
Because he can't really like give you what stupid hockey dads like, do this, do that.
Yeah.
You know, he had none of that, I'm guessing.
No, he didn't have a lot of tips to give me as far as hockey, but he was very supportive. Both my parents were very supportive, and I didn't feel any pressure or interference from him or nothing. It was just always there. If I needed
every
him
game
for anything, for a ride, he was always there at the games. I asked him the other day, I said, did you miss any of my junior games, like in Laval? Because we're playing, 35 games at home in Laval when I played junior. He said, no, I don't remember missing one. So
that's awesome.
So it's great. I knew they were there. I knew where they sat, and always had that. They always had my back. It never criticized. It was always, if I needed them, they were there.
And who was your guy growing up watching hockey? Like, did you?
It was Guy Lafleur.
Oh,
yeah.
Every kid your age from Montreal, pretty much.
Yeah, well, I was listening to Mario Lemieux he was presented, and they asked him who was his favorite player, and it was Guy Lafleur. So I think all our age group, Guy Lafleur was the guy. He was like the best player in the world. So it was easy to fall in love with him, with the hair and the
flair.
That flair. Yeah, he was amazing. He was a spectacular player. So
you can tell he works in media. He set us up twice now to get to Laval, and then we didn't jump on it. But now he set us up with Lemieux.
Oh man!
You guys
can go anywhere.
First year in the queue, you get to play with Mario Lemieux. And what do you have? 250 points or something? What was that season like?
282 points. That's 4 points a game on average. Think about that for a minute.
It must have been insane. Like the crowd,
it was insane.
And what you were witnessing.
It was like I was 15. I was the youngest player in the league, and I made that team. They had 17 veterans coming back in Laval, and I cracked the lineup. And I was third line center. I was center at the time, and Mario was playing like 42 minutes, and I was playing 6. But it didn't matter. Watching him every night was like it was like going to school. It was amazing, the stuff that I learned watching him. And he was, I think, a week too young to make it to the draft. So he had to play an extra year in junior. But really, he was too good. It was 4 points, 7 points, 3 points, 8 points every night.
Shit.
I think he had like 70 games in a row with at least 1 point. And he was just like too good to play junior. So we won everything in Quebec. The only time we struggled as a team, I think we won. I think in the playoffs we won in 18 games. We were 16-2 in the playoff. But at the Memorial Cup, we didn't win a game. We lost 3 games in a row. That's when we were struggling in Quebec, and Adam Creighton with the Ottawa
67s, yeah.
67s won.
He was
won
a
that
beast
year.
too, right? So he was probably just as big.
He
if
was
not
playing
bigger.
against Mario, and everybody had a strategy to try to stop him. It never worked before, but that's the only time that I saw Mario not perform when the game was on the line. Because every time, and the best story I have of Mario is the last game of the season, regular season, he was 3 goals shy of Guy Lafleur's record for goals in the queue. He had 130 goals, and Guy Lafleur had 133 goals. So the building was packed. I think Gretzky was at that game because they were in Montreal, and Mario had 6 goals, 5 assists that game. Just like unbelievable. He
probably 11 points.
Yeah, 11 points, and again, he just like off the charts.
I guess we've said that Gretzky's record would never be touched, and Ovi's going to break it. I don't think 136 goals in a Quebec league will ever be touched. If that's touched, then God help us for whoever's coming. But when you got there and you're 15, so he's 18. When you were like 10 and 11, even without the internet and stuff, had everybody heard of Mario in the Montreal area? Like, did you already know about him when he was younger?
No, I was not aware of much at 10 years old. I wasn't, there was nothing, no access to information really. The only time I really, even for me, like it was hard to compare myself. I knew I was good in Montreal where I grew up, but am I good against
Toronto,
guys in Ontario or even the rest of the province? And the only, where I started to kind of say, okay, I might have a shot is Journal de Montréal when I was playing midget AAA at this mid-season ranking of the prospects from 1 to 25, I think, and I was number 2 in the province
for the Quebec League.
Patrick Roy's brother Stéphane was number 1, and that was like my dad showed me that, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, so I knew then that I had a shot, and it was after that it was up to me to kind of keep performing and to what I had to do to kind of get to the draft. And
is that the first time it clicked in your head that you could maybe make it a living playing hockey?
That's the first time really that, it was right in my face. Okay, people kind of look at me and know who I am, and they kind of rate me. And now there's ratings, guys are at them, and there's ratings on.
I know, it's hard. Like you have 3 boys, you said. It's almost better that you didn't know. You just played. And now kids know every single thing, their team ranking, and it gets a little harder, I bet.
Were you still doing the backyard pond, like even as the years went on, when you got closer to being in junior? Like, were you honing your skills?
Well, not as much as guys do now. I mean, I remember even my training when I started playing in the NHL. It was in 1986. We had 4 guys smoking in the room between periods. We had one gym that was as big as this room here, and 1 bike and 1 bench press, and so it totally changed. But the way I was training in my junior years and beginning of my career was not enough compared to what the guys are doing today.
So I was going to ask about Mario, like hacking darts, and you just mentioned like, this guy. Was he doing so in junior at 18?
He wasn't.
Okay.
No.
Do you think that it was like?
Well, if he was, I wasn't aware of it.
Wasn't aware. Do you think that maybe that was part of the Guy Lafleur, like that aura, like the fact that he could do what he was doing, but yet he was still like hacking darts? I heard he was like hacking darts on the bench too, like between shifts.
Well, I know that was shocking to me when I made it to the NHL. I wasn't speaking English, so I was just like watching. I was looking and soaking in all the information that I could get. And so I'm in Toronto. I'm in the dressing room with the Leafs, and between periods, guys would rush to the skating, the trainer where he sharpened the skates, and they were sitting there, 4 guys, and just smoking darts quickly so they could get back in the room. And so it's just the way it was. Just the way it was. Guys weren't ready in training camp either. We had long training camps, a month and a half, 11 games in the preseason, and guys were not all in shape like they are now. Everything is just top level from early age, and if you're not training, or if you're not putting the work, you're not going to make it at the end. It's too competitive now.
Too many people play.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, like, as a French kid, was it common for the Toronto Maple Leafs to pick a French kid? And when that happened, how many times did it happen before you? And like,
I was the first.
Were you reluctant to maybe even go?
No. Well, it's funny because that's the question I got right off the bat. But I was the first round pick by the French Canadian, by the Toronto Maple Leafs during the Ballard years. Imagine that.
Oh yeah.
But one of the first questions they asked me is, "Are you disappointed to be drafted by the Leafs?" And I said, "No. I thought it was a great opportunity for me because I was thinking about my parents." The next team after Toronto, I think, was Winnipeg, and after that, it was Vancouver. And I thought, okay, Toronto, they could drive 5 hours and come and see me when they want. So for me, that was important that they could still come and watch me play if I made the team. And it was a storied franchise, and I thought it was a great opportunity. So to me, I was happy. I just didn't speak English. So
that's the only issue.
I had to get there.
Before we go to Toronto, the last thing I'll say, so you, as a 15-year-old in the Quebec League, you had 65 points in 66 games. Like, Mario had 220 more points than you. That's just insane. But so when you were picked and then you go in, you end up making the team. Like, did you think you would? Like, was that your expectation going to camp?
Yeah, I thought
nice.
My expectation was to do the best I can, but I never had really plan Bs when I went to any training camp. To me, it wasn't, if I don't make it, where do I go? I always showed up at camp expecting to make it in my head. And it worked out. I mean, I was lucky to make that team because it was very competitive. But to me, playing third line center, and we were scoring 5 goals a game, and we had a lot of veterans, a lot of offense. I was surrounded with a lot of quality people, and so I did have a good year. But I was probably 12th in scoring on my team just because everybody was so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, you were 8th in scoring, but the guys on the team, like, that was Wendell Clark's second year. He had 271 penalty minutes, 37 goals. So you're seeing like some young guys. I mean, Russ Courtnall led
in Toronto, yeah,
and he's 21. It's like there was a pretty sweet group of young core here to like build something.
Well, in Toronto, when I got drafted by Toronto, I was drafted 6th overall, but they had the second worst team in the league because at the time there was a division, and if you made playoffs in the division, you were picking after the teams that didn't make the playoffs. So we were second worst in the league, but Toronto made the playoffs because Detroit was so bad they were 1st overall. So all the other undrafted, unplayoff team went 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6 was Toronto because it was the first team that made the playoff with the worst record. I don't know if you follow me, but
no, I do. Kind of a broken system.
Well, it's like that. It's the team that don't make the playoff that pick first. So anyway, so there was a lot of help needed in Toronto. So I knew that going into that training camp that I could make it if I perform well if they gave me opportunity in the preseason.
Yeah.
And if I perform well, and sure enough, I played all 11 games in preseason. So, no break. I was like, let's go.
So not only you mentioned the Ballard era, the fact that you don't speak any English going to training camp, and then you also have John Brophy as a head coach.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
F-bombs every third word. And,
well, it might have been a blessing in disguise you didn't speak English, right? Was that your first experience having a coach that intense where I don't know if the mind games is the right words to describe him, but like obviously testing you day in, day out and really pushing your buttons.
Yeah, John Brophy's a legend as far as his hockey career in the minors and how tough he was. And he was very good to me, I got to say. Like he, not that he left me alone, but maybe because I didn't understand what he was saying, that he didn't speak to me much. But I felt like he gave me the ice time. He had confidence in what I could do with my skills. But he didn't play any games with me or nothing. I played all the games the first year. Dan Daou was my only teammate that could speak French. Dan Daou took me under his wing and took care of me and helped me out. I was standing behind at the end of the line. I was watching the drill. And I was I paid a lot of attention because I didn't want to screw up. But Dan was there. The coach was very good to me. I have nothing bad to say about John. A very intense guy. when things don't go his way, but that's okay. I don't mind that. If he's tough, but he was fair to everybody.
Were there things that you saw and experienced where you were like, holy shit, this is like a different level and something that you'd never seen as far as like a interaction with a player or things that were happening from a coach standpoint in the locker room?
Well, no, I think it was there was some rivalries that were pretty intense, and there was a lot of fighting and there was no maximum amount of players that you could carry on your roster. So we had 27 guys, and 5 of them that didn't play one game were all like super tough guys. And if we played Detroit, they were in our division, or played Chicago, they were in our division, then you would dress all these guys, and it was
I didn't know that.
It was pretty intense.
I didn't know.
Yeah, there was no caps.
Oh, wow.
You
Yeah.
could carry as many players as you wanted. So
what are we talking here? Like they guaranteed there'd be like 6-7 fights every game?
And then I remember one game against Chicago was all the players on the ice were kind of going at it, and it was something that it was bad in junior, but it was like a different level when it was very intense rivalries. Because there was less teams, and you would play 9-10 times against the same team. So,
AHL style.
Do you remember your first fight?
I do. It was Doug Gilmore. Doug Gilmore was
Killer?
in Calgary.
Oh, no.
Tough guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what happened. I was in Toronto. He was in Calgary, and just kind of look at each other. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it was my first fight. I think I have 3 fights. One against Joe Sacco as well. That one I was in Montreal. I was just kind of defending one of my guys, and so it wasn't my style. But since I think I fought twice,
Not your game.
2 tough guys.
When I first click on the Maple Leafs roster, your rookie year, first name comes out of my site is Bjorn Salming.
Yeah,
I've never heard a bad word said about him. Can you give us a few stories on him? I don't think he was one of the guys smoking cigarettes.
No. Boris Salming was super fit. He could skate like he was flying, and he was jumping on the ice. And Boris Salming taught me how to use my backhand. And I practiced my backhand throughout my career. I would drop pucks. Before everybody went on the ice, I would drop a bucket of pucks, 50 pucks, and I would shoot 5 feet from the net. I would shoot backhands, bar down. I would practice that. And Boris Salming is the one that I saw making passes, snap passes on the backhand from one end to the other, right on the tape. And I was like, whoa, what is that? And he was shooting pucks on the backhand, and I watched him in practice how we'd practice that. It's a skill. Not everybody uses the backhand
Big time.
To pass much or to shoot. And so for a goalie, it's very difficult to know, okay, where's that puck going to go? Because you don't really look at the net when you shoot your backhand. So I learned that from him. And one of the scariest moments that I saw in my hockey career was when Boris Salming got somebody stepped on him, and he had 250 stitches on his face, and ugly. I remember that. And it was like the next morning he was having breakfast, and I was like, his face was up to here.
Yeah, the picture.
Very scary. Yeah, very
This toughness
scary.
was like, that's one thing that people talk about.
Yes, because when he came in, there was no Europeans. He was the first one with another Swedish player. I forgot his name, but they were abusing him, because they didn't want, you're taking our jobs. And that was the mentality back then. You're taking jobs from a Canadian kid. So they had it super tough. And yeah, he was tough. He was tough on his body. He was tough playing, scared of no one. He wasn't a fighter, but he'll show up. He'll show up on any game.
It was Inga Hammerstrom, I think, who he came over with. And he was a smaller finesse player. And that's why he didn't last as long as Bjork, because Bjork could handle the abuse.
Salming was at the end of his career when I came in, but he was a superstar. I mean, he was an all-star player. So that's one of the guys that were that I learned a lot from.
That's cool about your IQ for the game. It wasn't necessarily him telling you to work on your backhand. It was just you noticing him doing it, and then you decided, like, based on just what you were seeing, to get into that practice.
Yeah, I think you have to be aware when you're a young kid. It's not just put the time in and practice and go through you need to watch the best players. If I was playing with Connor McDavid, I want to know what he's doing. I just there was there was a optional practice after the Canadian game, and who was on the ice? It was Crosby and McKinnon, and 3/4 of the team were at the hotel room. It's not something that you could. When the top guys do more than the regular guys, so you just have to watch what they're doing, and you're not going to get to that level, but you could do what they do off the ice. Or
quickly, not speaking any English, was it just being around the boys in the room that helped? Was it TV? Sometimes people say watching TV. Like what made you learn it? Just over time being with.
Well, I watched The Price is Right when I was a kid, so I knew all the games.
Bob Barker taught you English with the little skinny mic.
Bob Barker taught me a little bit of English, but when I made the team in Toronto, there was a piece in the Toronto Star. So there was a 2-pager in the Toronto Star, and one of the things that I mentioned in there is that I didn't want to go in an apartment. I wanted to live with a family. So a family in Toronto read that, called my agent, and I met them, and I ended up living with them for 1.5 years.
Wow.
So that really helped me with my English, kind of having dinner with them. And so they had a beautiful house in Rosedale, which is like high-end in Toronto, and L.A. Afraidy would pick me up with his Mustang jacked up in the neighborhood. That was like, who is that?
Revving the engine.
Did he have a mullet at the time?
Oh, yeah. He was like, he didn't fit in Rosedale. But anyways, he would pick me up every morning, and he was great. And I had no car. And the only thing I did was sleep, go to the rink, and eat and try to learn. And I bought a TV, I think, and that was all I had the first year. And I learned pretty quickly from being in that family, being in the English environment every day. I think the best way to learn a language is not to have other
like lessons or anything. It's just
you're every day, all day is English. And I was speaking to Dandao in French, but other than that, it was like all English. So you absorb pretty quickly, you understand, and after that, it's speaking is a little harder because especially in an environment where there's a lot of noise and you don't understand much. So you're a bit of an outsider at the beginning. It's not easy. And then, but I went through it, and Daniel Marois came in my 3rd year. So I was kind of helping him, and Dande was helping me. So it kind of, that's how it works. It's always easier for a Swede, a Russian, or if you got an older player that speaks your language, to have somebody to help you out, show you the ropes. It's easier.
It's like why Kuzmenko went over to help Michkov off.
In Philly,
Philly, they just made that trade because it feels like he was probably on an island where like Torts is sometimes getting frustrated trying to communicate to him. You just need that older guy to help and help with the language barrier. I want to go back to The Price is Right. What were your favorite games? Like, were you just dialed in every day?
Do you remember the climber? That was my favorite game.
It's a Portnoy's always talking about the gambling.
That was your favorite?
That was my favorite game. It would come out once a week or something. They kept that to the side, but that was the game I liked the most.
So I would imagine in the queue, you guys were always bussing everywhere. What was it like getting to fly commercial with all the guys and always being around? Like, was there a lot of pranking going on? Were you a prankster yourself? Like, what were your fondest memories from all the travel?
Toronto?
Yeah.
In Toronto, we didn't have charter flights. We were flying Air Ontario, so those 2 propeller planes, and I was sitting in the back trying to play some cards with the guys, but sometimes I could, sometimes I couldn't because I was a rookie. But I was a sleeper. I like to sleep and get a lot of naps, and so I woke up one time and I had half my toes were coming out of my my socks. My tie was cut, and I was like, "Okay, this is welcome to the NHL." So that was I wasn't the prankster, but a lot of people were doing stuff to me because I was the only rookie that year. So.
Oh no,
a rookie asleep in 1990 or 87.
You get your ticket too. You're like, oh sweet, I got a window seat. No, some veteran comes back. You're in B, buddy.
Well, there's no like what do you call those PlayStations or whatever they got? Like your entertainment was messing around with one another, right? So. That's too funny.
That was the only rookie, but the guys were great. There was I don't remember paying a rookie meal, so that's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, I think they paid around some bar or something, and they left me alone. So
was there a building on the road, like your first few years you just kind of fell in love with playing? Like people say the old Blackhawks arena, or like where did you love once you got there, or play really well in? for other cities.
I played really well, and I love playing here in Montreal in the old Forum.
Yeah,
I always had good games in Quebec because I knew a lot of people from my side of the family was going to be there. My parents were going to be there. So I had a lot of success against the Nordiques and a lot of success against Montreal over my career. But I like playing in Chicago.
it was cool, huh?
The national anthem is just unbelievable. The noise and the building, and they're right on top of you. And the loudest building in the league when I played, the old Chicago Stadium.
Yeah, that's what a lot of guys have said.
And
in your era.
The All-Star game, first All-Star game that I played in 1991 was in Chicago, and there's talking about canceling the game because of Desert Storm. There was a war in Kuwait. And, do we have the game? Do we not have the game? Eventually, we played, but the national anthem, the flags,
I've seen that on YouTube.
Oh
it was
my God,
crazy.
it was like unbelievable. You couldn't even speak to the guy next to you on the bench. It was so loud. And so that was a great experience as well.
You were MVP of an All-Star game. Was it that
one?
Wow.
That was my first game. I was in Toronto, and they picked me to play. And I had 4 goals. I tied Gretzky's record and Mario Lemieux's record. At the time, now I think there's 12 of us that have 4 goals. And I remember Muckler was the coach, and he put me on with Gretzky at the end of the game to try to get my 5th to beat him. And Wayne was like feeding me the puck. Let's go,
that's
kid.
awesome. Who was your line mates earlier in the game? Do you remember?
It was Adam Oates and Steve Yzerman. So I was like, wow, what a line.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, I was super lucky to have Adam Oates, one of the best passers in the game, and he fed me through all night. So I had 4 goals, but tons of chances to get more.
In Toronto, you really grew as a player. You came in young, and then by your 4th year, you got 94 points. Following year, 73 points, and all of a sudden, boom, an enormous trade. And you're going to Edmonton in a huge, I think 7 players, you said, right?
Yes.
Grant Fuhr was a part of that one.
Glenn Anderson. Glenn Anderson, a part of it. Crazy to see. And I think a lot of times players say the first time you're traded, there's just shock and you were picked so high and were a hell of a player. What did you think? How did you find out? And did you hear beforehand it might happen?
There was rumors, and yes, I was shocked because it was the first trade. And, you start in the NHL at the time as, first year, you make 90,000 Canadian. So it was different you had to really, I couldn't get a place downtown. I eventually bought a place way outside Toronto in Pickering. At my house, I was settled. Slowly, it was getting my comfortable, and then boom. But I understood because Cliff Fletcher had just gotten the job in Toronto, and he wanted to win right away. And we were kind of somewhat of a rebuild in Toronto, and in Edmonton had, I think, 7 guys holding out. You don't see that now, but back then, the only thing you could do to pressure the team to sign you was to stay home. So Messier was home, Esa Tikkanen was home, Craig Simpson was home, Fuhr was home.
Wow.
Glenn Anderson was home. So all these guys held out.
Couldn't pay them all.
Didn't want to pay them all, whatever. And Cliff Fletcher wanted to win right away. He was looking for a goalie, and he was looking for a veteran player up front. And we were the young guys being sacrificed, which is fine. I understood it. I went to Edmonton, and like I said, when I was in Toronto, I was at the end of the Ballard years, and then they had new owners, but it wasn't the best situation as far as top to bottom,
hectic a little.
Yes, very hectic. We were taking team photos, and we had to wait for Puck, Ballard's dog, to turn his head on the team picture with the Leafs. I mean, think about that for a minute.
I love this shit. I love it.
To wait. You look at the late 80s picture, and you get this dog in the center, and it took hours to get the picture done because the dog wasn't behaving. So you're with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Do you remember the dog's name?
Puck.
Oh, yeah. This is too good.
So when I got to Edmonton, I was shocked to see how the cup was present on the door when you walked in. There was stickers of all the win. Every time they won in the playoffs, they put a they put a sticker of the Stanley Cup. And after 16, when you win the cup. When I got there in 1992, they had won 5 cups in the past 8 years.
Yeah, jeez.
So that's all they talked about. And to me, it was a shock to see how you do a thing a certain way. And I think I was third after the goalie coming out of the room in Toronto. So I tried to go third after Ranford, and
nope.
Kevin Lowe said no. And then the next guy said no. So I ended up being like 10th in the line because it's just the way it worked.
Yeah, they had their system.
They had their way to do things, and you had to follow suit, and you had to. And if you weren't, it wasn't the coach that was telling you you're not doing things right. It was Kevin Lowe. It was Esa Tikkanen. It was Greg Simpson. It was
Their
Kelly
culture.
Bugberger.
Yeah.
Blocking shots and doing what it took to win. And that's what I learned when I was there. It was a very tough transition because, like I said, I was comfortable in Toronto. But looking back, my year in Edmonton taught me how to win. I won in Montreal, but it really... my work ethic, what it took to get to the next level. I learned from Kevin Lowe, my captain over there, and the sacrifice that he did game in, game out. He's the toughest guy that I saw play against Wayne Gretzky, and they were best friends.
Really?
When we played LA in the playoff, he was always on the ice against Gretzky, and he would cross-check him and beat him up in front of net, and he didn't care. He wanted to win, and Gretzky was trying to beat him, but I was impressed. That's his best friend.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
No, he wanted to win, and he knew that if we're going to beat LA and Gretzky, that's the way we got to play against them.
And that year, I mean, you lit it up. 89 points, 38 goals, and you guys went to, was it the conference finals? Because
we lost in the semifinals against Chicago.
Wow. So all of a sudden you're out of there too. It's just crazy that it would have been almost like, wow, this guy's coming in. He's young. We can build around him, but it only lasted a year.
Yeah. You have to invite Glenn Sater to know about, I don't know what happened there, but when Bernie Nichols got traded for Messi at Christmas, like I said, all the guys were holding out. Then Messi got traded at Christmas to the Rangers. And we got back Bernie Nichols, which is a super underrated player. And he ended up being my center. I was on left wing, and Joe Murphy was on the right wing. Joe was the number 1 pick in 1986, my draft. And we lit it up. When he came in, it was unbelievable how we connected, how we had a lot of chemistry. In the playoff, we did great. And what happened after that in the summer, I don't know. I was there for a year, but I was happy to come home.
Was it a trade, or was it just they just didn't sign you?
It was a trade. I got traded for Corson.
Okay.
Vutek, a young player that played about 100 games, and Brent Gilchrist.
Okay.
So that was the trade again in August of 92. I came in August in 91 in Edmonton. And when I got to Montreal, I was in my brother's office. He's a denturist, and I was sitting talking to him, and I knew there was some rumors. And when I got the call from Pierre Lacroix, my agent, said, "You're traded to Montreal." No disrespect to the Oilers and to Edmonton. I love my year there, but I was like, coming home.
What a phone call. Yeah,
Did you cry?
I didn't cry. I was super happy. I was emotional, but I was very happy. And the way I felt was like, okay, they gave a lot. Same as when Glenn Sater got me. When Serge Savard made that trade, I said, okay, I'm going to do my best to kind of show him that he did the right thing.
Ramp it up.
So, and the pressure's on now. Because that was kind of one of our questions, is being a French kid playing for the Canadians, it's incredible, and also the pressure's wild. You must have known going in, I'm going to have a lot of not just eyeballs on me, but pressure on me to perform.
Of course. It's an interesting question because I'm asked that a lot, and I'm in the media now in Montreal, and there's a lot of people that talk about pressure, and it always in a negative way, seems like. Must be hard, there's a lot of pressure, but think about it. We play all our lives starting at 4 to get to that level. And when you get to that level, I played for Toronto and Montreal, arguably the 2 biggest franchises in hockey.
Yep.
And it's the same question, is there a lot of pressure? Well, I worked all my life to get there. Yeah, there is pressure, but it's
I want
how you handle that pressure, though, that will separate the guys that make it and guys that don't make it. It's not for everybody, but why is it Lemieux and Gretzky and all those guys, and even the guy, Guy Lafleur played in Montreal. How come he can perform? And so it's how you prepare, how you handle it. And when I got to Montreal, I was at the peak of my career at 24. I was like, I had lived 6 NHL years. Toronto, I was media everywhere and in all Canadian markets. So I was prepared to live that challenge, to come to Montreal and be the guy. And I had my best years of my career, the 7 years I was in Montreal, as far as stats.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was hard, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I mean, my years in Montreal were great.
I think that's the best regular season your first year that a Canadian's had since.
In 30, 35 years, nobody's had that many
What is it,
points.
97 points you had that year?
97 points my first year in Montreal. I started
What
off
a way to
slow.
come.
Oh,
Just the
man.
rhyme
Pressure's
in the
off,
tower.
eh? Stanley Cup, your playoffs was unreal. That must have been just a magical season.
It was my best season of my 18-year career as far as how I felt, obviously winning the cup. The best memories that I have of my career are the 92-93 season. From coming to Montreal to my teammates, to what we lived through in the playoffs, and how we got to the cup with 10 overtime wins in a row. It was unbelievable. So yeah, it's a great experience.
Yeah, I got to admit, I was a diehard Islanders fan during that season because we had their AHL team at home, and I went to a couple games. I went to one game, Montreal in the Island, and my dad brought me up to one in the Forum. But you broke my heart. You broke all us Islanders fans' heart. But I'll never forget the atmosphere in that Forum during those playoff runs. The atmosphere was great the other night, but that playoff run, it was magical in there.
Yeah, it's funny because we were always at the hotel the day before our home games, which is kind of new. I mean, Serge Savard and Jacques Demers said, okay, before we play tomorrow at home, everybody at the hotel would go for dinner, go to the hotel, and go to the rink the next morning to practice and play the game. And even the pregame nap was at the hotel, our home games. And before the Islanders beat Pittsburgh, which was the powerhouse, they had one in 91, one in 92 with Lemieux and Francis and Stevens and Tocchet and Yager and all those guys. We expect to play Pittsburgh. We expect to fly and go to Pittsburgh and play our first game over there in the semifinals. But game 7, we're all watching at the hotel, waiting to see what our fate's going to be. And when Volek scored in overtime in game 7, we're all running up and down.
No Mario.
Again, no disrespect to the Islanders.
You
but
wouldn't have said it publicly.
No.
But the
We
team
said,
was...
it doesn't matter who we play.
I was actually in Les Four Glaces for a youth hockey tournament watching that game, and the whole place went nuts. I was going nuts as an Islander fan,
Yeah,
but it was
sure.
all the Montreal fans too.
Yeah, because
everybody knew no Mario.
Yeah, and remember Dale Hunter kind of...
I was at that game too.
Well, Turgeon scored in overtime, and a couple seconds later, I think, got suspended 21 games for that hit.
Yeah.
Blew Pierre Turgeon's shoulder, so that gave us an advantage too, because at the beginning, Pierre, obviously, I don't think he was playing, and then he wasn't 100%. So,
Well, we interviewed him a few weeks ago, and we were talking about it, and he actually told us he was out the whole series, but he dressed for game 7 when Volek scored, and then he was going to take a shift. Remember, he was telling us? Game 7 OT, he was going to take a shift, and then Volek scored. He was like, I was ready to go out there and try to do something, but yeah, it was like without him,
not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, that year, he had, I think, 123 points or something, so he was a big part. He wasn't 100%, but we really felt like we won in 20 games. So we had 16 wins, 4 losses, and 2 of them, the first 2 against Quebec. So we felt very strong about our chances to beat anybody. So it would have been fun to play Pittsburgh and see. Who knows, right? You don't know. But
you had something special going. You never know.
You look at that lineup today, and because back then it was like, okay, Quebec with Sakic, Sundin against. We weren't really favorite right off the bat, but you look at who played on that team in '93. I mean, John LeClaire was 22. didn't really have good seasons. You had 20 goals, and then he goes to Philly and becomes a superstar.
Yeah.
Eric Desjardins was like a good, solid defenseman, but he ends up playing for Canada and a great career.
He was amazing.
Amazing career. You know, Matthew Schneider and Brisebois and all these guys that were 21, 22 that you say, okay, that's okay lineup. They end up being the players that we know today. Like it
was almost like the perfect storm. Like everyone was just started clicking at the right time, eh?
Yeah, and everybody had a role to play, and that was the beauty about Jacques Demers, is that he could really get the best out of everybody. My best coach in my career, really a player's coach, but he could get his point across when it was time, but he was very good at getting everybody to believe, and he could find roles from the top guy to the guy that would give you 4 minutes. You could really get the best out of him as well.
And then that series, oh, sorry, Murray, you have something? Oh, that series against LA in the final, like, did you know that he was going to call for the McSorley illegal stick? Like, did that just come out of nowhere? Or was that the team had talked prior, like, hey, his stick's illegal, like, we might have to hop on that?
Well, there's a lot of rumors that we knew that who was illegal and that we had stolen sticks, and that's not the case. I mean, I was playing with illegal sticks.
Really?
Half the league were playing with illegal sticks. It was so,
because of the curve or the thickness?
It was so easy to be illegal, right?
Yeah, you heat it up, right?
Yeah, I was playing with a big hook, but I had 6 sticks on the bench. I had 3 that were illegal if I break them during the game. But I knew that with 10 minutes to go, if we're up by a goal or 2, I'm switching.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a chance in the playoff.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing it. Were you doing it?
Yeah, I did it. I had to do it for the thickness and for the curve.
Yeah. So
that's how old I am. Damn it.
Yeah. So
hey, you look young, Mer.
So if we're up, I'm changing my stick. Everybody, and you could tell at the beginning of the game that McSorley, Robitaille had illegal sticks, but you need the balls as the coach to make that call. So usually they don't do it early, and they don't do it at the end, because if you're wrong, you get a penalty, and then you look like an idiot. So Jacques relied on Guy. And he asked him on the bench, he said, who has illegal sticks? He said, McSorley, Robitaille. He needs to be on the ice at the end of the game, and he needs to have the same stick. Yeah. So it was risky.
Yeah.
McSorley's on the ice. We're down by 1, and he makes the call. And McSorley didn't switch his stick, so he's got a penalty. He's sitting on the bench, and usually he's the first guy on defense to play on a penalty kill. He's not there. And the second thing that he did with about 2 minutes to play back then, he didn't pull your goalie with 2 minutes. Now they do, but
now they do it.
Then it was like a minute.
3. Oh, okay. You'd wait.
So we have the face-off in the offensive zone, and Jacques decides to pull out Patrick and put 6 guys against 4,
like way earlier than ever before
at the time. So with 2 minutes, we have a power play, and we start working the puck around, and Leclerc is in front of net, and Desjardins already had the 1 goal. It was 2-1. So I give him the puck at the blue line. He one-timer, goes right through Leclerc's legs, and we tie the game. So it's 2-2. And in overtime again, we had won 8 in a row, or 7 in a row at that time. And Eric again scores in overtime. Hat trick in the Stanley Cup final for a defenseman. And we went on to LA, and John Leclerc got the 2 goals in overtime there, number 9, number 10. And we won the 5th game at home. I think it was a 5-1. Or
it's just wild to see, like, you lose game 1 and then you're down game 2. Like, and all of us, like, that game, and then even the overtime wins in LA, like, it was a way better series than you look in the record books now and see 5 games.
Yeah, even against Buffalo, all the games were 4-3. We won by 1 goal every game. Against the Islanders, I think we won 3 in overtime. And you're right. A lot of games were tight, but we had the best goalie in the world, we felt. And he was very confident, borderline cocky. And that's the strength of Patrick. I mean, he transpired the confidence, and you guys, don't worry. I'll stop the puck. You guys.
He'd be saying this as a rookie in the locker room.
No, he wasn't a rookie.
He was a rookie in 86.
Yeah, he won it as his rookie too, though.
Yeah. Okay, that's
in 86. He was the rookie.
Oh, that's right. Excuse
me. He wasn't speaking.
That's right.
He couldn't speak English either when he was young.
Yeah.
But in 93, he was the guy.
Yes.
He was
My apologies.
He had a very average season, but in the playoff, he was amazing, and we all felt cocky. We all felt confident because that's what remember the wink against Sandstrom and against LA? Like he made a huge save. Sandstrom comes around and he just gives them the wink, and that was caught on camera. So that's how confident and comfortable
What's with
he
these
was.
legendary French hockey players? I feel like Mario Lemieux is the greatest winker on the planet. Like he came out the other night and they caught it perfect on camera. Even in training camp, when you'd be in Pittsburgh, he'd just give you the wink and you'd be like, "Oh my God, he winked at me." Like,
Nothing bothers him. Huh?
no, it's
That's the thing about pressure I was telling you about earlier. I mean, some guys are at their best when the pressure
They thrive on it.
Is at the
they need it.
peak. And why is it that Patrick Roy was able to perform so well in the playoffs throughout his career, and some of the guys can't? Well, that's not for everybody.
You have Patrick Roy still. It makes sense that he's the one that started this early goalie pulling when he was the coach in Colorado.
Yes.
He was the first one to start pulling them with 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So I wonder if it goes back to that legendary goalie pull.
I also heard that they never
Yeah.
used to do it if a team was up by more than one goal too. So if it was like 3-1, they wouldn't even bother pulling the goalie, which is crazy.
Yeah, now they're down by 3 goals. They pull the goalie out with 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Elio loves it.
We had somebody on from Colorado, and when I think it was he was talking about how Adam Foote and Patrick Roy roomed together, and they'd never seen a goalie discuss strategy like Patrick. Like some goalies, they just worried about stopping the puck, but he would like move positionally the defenseman, tell you where to stand. Hey, don't go here. Was it like that when you played with him when you won a Stanley Cup? Like, had you ever seen a goalie kind of talk about the game the way that he did?
He would talk to his defenseman. He was very specific in what he wanted with his defenseman. Like he wanted the shot. He wanted the defense to take the pass, which is what you learn as a. But he was really stressing that, like, give me the shot, worry about the back door to his defenseman, and he wanted that. He wanted to see the puck, so clear the front. And but as far as for me, Patrick was when I was slacking, when I was wasn't playing my best. It was more like it wasn't the coach. The coach would tell me some stuff, and I knew it. But Patrick would say something right in my face.
No shit.
And not to be condescending, but said, "Hey, Vinny, we need you. Like, let's go wake up," or something like that. And he was right. I mean, I wasn't pulling my weight, and he expected that from himself. But he had no problem telling anybody in the room,
And not even a defenseman, right? Who he's dealing with more like
No.
as a forward. Like, hey,
Didn't
Vinny,
matter.
I'm
Didn't
seeing,
matter.
I need more.
He knew how everybody was performing, and he was very aware of what was going on the ice, and he wasn't afraid to. He wasn't a goalie that was like very quiet, or he would do his thing. He was very superstitious. He would do his thing before the game and that, but he could be very vocal once in a while, not all the time.
We asked Pierre Turgeon about the night it kind of all ended, right? Like the night against Detroit, and how you didn't have the glass with the owners behind you. And he actually mentioned he'd been driving to the rink with him, I believe, and he kind of knew, like, he's not happy. But did you know that? Like, were you as shocked as everyone else that night it happened? And what are your memories of him being traded?
Well, that day, first of all, the relationship between Mario and Patrick was good when they played together, but it started off kind of rocky at the beginning of their relationship when Mario got hired as the coach. And but we won, like, I think 7 games in a row when Mario came in. So it was pushed back. It was pushed back to the side, and it was just a matter of time before it came out and went out of control. And that day it was against Detroit when he got scored on, and he was kept in the net. And I was sitting on the bench when Patrick was pulled finally, and he walked behind and he talked to Renaud Corey. Said, "I played my last game here." I was with my stick and I was looking straight ahead, and it was right behind. So I had no idea.
Hear him?
No,
Okay,
I had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
No idea what was going on until later on that night, and I understood the trade. We didn't, obviously we didn't get enough for him, and they put Mike Keane, which I thought was I won the cup with Mike Keane. Mike Keane was my line mate. I have tons of respect for Mike. He's one of the most underrated player. Yeah. They threw him in that trade, and he did wonders. He won the cup in Colorado, won the cup, I think, in Dallas as well. Super player that we put in that trade. But Pierre was smart, and he felt like there was an opportunity, and he came in, and Sue Patrick and Mike Keane. I mean, I love Rosinski. He's one of my best friends in hockey, but obviously we didn't get enough.
Definitely.
No disrespect for Thibault, or it was a tough situation for him to come in and try to replace Patrick. And Kovalenko and Rosinski, obviously, should have got a Sakic or Forsberg.
Yeah, when you're looking at Patrick. Well, I played with Thibault, though. Great guy.
Yeah,
he's an awesome
for sure.
dude.
It was tough for him to come
Yeah.
in.
I just want to go right back, put a bow on that 92-93 cup. We know Odeline. He told us the week after he won the cup, he rented a limo and lived out of it for the whole week. What was your
Like
cup?
Noonan, like Noonan, but he didn't have to pay for it.
What was your cup experience like winning it in Montreal?
I was with Lyle Odeline quite a bit for that week. 'Cause I was single, and he was single, and I love Lyle. What a guy. I mean, he was one of the only guys that would go east of the Forum. That's the French part of town. So he would come out to the bars with me. We would go out, and he didn't speak a word of French.
He didn't care.
In there and sipping his little cocktail. It was great. I kind of related to that when I was my early days when I couldn't understand English. So, but Lyle was great. We went out like every night, and obviously guys with families would kind of leave the caravan and whatever you call it. At the beginning, everybody's there, but it's understandable. But for me, I don't remember much of the 2 weeks after we went. I remember the parade. That was like,
Oh my God, that was
parade
to me
here.
is an eye opener of how many people you impact when you win, right? Because like I said, we were in the hotel before the games. We were in our bubble. But when you win, you don't really know. Okay, you celebrate. The dressing room was packed with family and friends, but the parade was like, we were on 18-wheeler platforms, and there was people as far as you can see ahead of us, as far as you can see behind us, and we were celebrating with the whole city. It was amazing. It was like 3 days after we won, and so that was the beginning of the kind of the partying and celebrating, and so it was great.
As a French Canadian kid, it must have felt so cool to deliver another cup to Montreal and like be around all the other legends who are at that point probably retired, who delivered 6, 7, 8 Stanley Cups in some fashion. So just having them around and being able to deliver that, like, was that probably the most satisfying feeling of your life?
Yeah, it was a whirlwind that year for me. I mean, I just came in the year before in August, and I won in June of the following year, and my life totally changed. And I'm home. I'm playing for the Canadians. I win the cup. I have a great season, and it's like
fairy tale,
unbelievable. And but you don't feel that impact like right away. I feel it more now because people talk to me about that cup 30 years later.
That's so cool, though.
You know,
meeting people.
You're a winner for life, and you realize that when you're around the city, they're craving for another team to kind of come up and make the playoff and be successful in that. And we're the last ones. We just had our 30-year anniversary reunion, and it was great to see all those faces. These guys are like brothers to me. You know, it's like when I say I remember that year more than anything, it's because we went to trenches together. We won together. We did something that a lot of players are not able to do in their career for different reasons. The wrong team, it just doesn't happen. It's very difficult to win.
So
it's
much
going to
love.
be even more difficult now with 32 teams. So if you have an opportunity to win it, you remember the guys you're with. You get flashback of different situation where it made the difference. The overtime, he could go one way, could get the other, and then so it's great memories. And these guys are like brothers. And when we met a couple of years ago to celebrate, I mean, we all had different memories, things I didn't remember that somebody else remembered. And we all told stories, and we all that must have been had a great time. It was a special night, and Serge Savard was there, and all their players. The only one that passed away was Todd Ewan. So we had a great night. Great night.
Yeah.
That team deserved more than one night together, it seems like. Well, I got to ask why you were in Montreal, because I played a lot in Europe. I see a stop in Germany just for 11 games. That reeks of like a paid vacation to go to Oktoberfest. What were you doing over there just for 11 games?
I didn't go to Munich. I was Northwest, but that was a lockout year. We were 100 days without hockey, and in November, I told my agent, I got to get out of here. I want to play, and can you find me a spot? And there's some guys were kind of going in different leagues in Switzerland, and I was lucky enough to go to Ratingen Lions, and I played 11 games, and it was a great experience. I loved it. I got there, and guys were kind of looking at me funny, and I wasn't in perfect shape, but it was a great hockey. Surprisingly, like I was playing against Tony Tanti, and Shabbat was there, and all guys that I saw when I was younger, and they were at the end of their career playing there. But really, I thought it was going to be a walk in the park, but I had my hands full. It was tough competition, good hockey, and great experience to see another country and how they see a game. Like half the building is screaming and singing and drunk and standing up. They don't sit the whole game.
I know.
They're there in the
really
warm-up.
Cool. The soccer
and the
style.
other side, they have season two, they sit, but the one side, the whole game, they just like sing. So
He played
fun.
in 40 countries. I've seen it all. This guy.
Banging the drums, the chants. It is special.
That's great, huh?
You win, you stay on the ice, you chant back at them. It's really exciting. I loved it.
Yeah.
After
Me
that,
too.
you come back, Montreal to finish up, and next you know, you're captain of the Montreal Canadiens. What an honor.
Yeah, that was a great honor. When Pierre got traded, we were in Detroit, and Mario was the coach, and Mario and I had a good connection, and I knew he relied on me for a lot of things. I was kind of helping him because he was a rookie coach, so the changes and all that, how everything worked. I said, Mario, you can wait at home before you send me against Pronger, you know? You could.
Yeah. We have last change.
So, anyways, before the game, he calls a meeting, and he's got my jersey, and the new captain is Vincent Damphousse, and I see the C in front of my jersey, and he presents me the jersey in front of all the guys, and I felt ready. I felt very sense of pride, and I couldn't believe it. There was a bit of a shocker, but I was ready for it. I was hoping it was me because I'd seen Guy Carbonneau, I'd seen Muller, I'd seen Keane, Pierre Turgeon, and I felt it was my turn to get it. And I felt I had the confidence from the guys in the room. I felt comfortable with everybody. Lyle was my assistant, and he was super. I knew I had the backing from the veterans in the room, so it was great.
Yeah, that's like you'd seen so many leaders and learned that like you knew what it took to be a leader. Whereas now, you know, guys are given the C a little bit younger, and a guy like Sid, it makes total sense. He was that driven and crazy as a young guy, but you probably never would have wanted it even 4 or 5 years earlier than that, right? Like
I don't think I was ready
Yeah.
to I was I'm not a very vocal captain, and I tend to lead by I try to do what's right on the ice and in practice, and it was all most of the time I was one of the first guys on. I wanted to practice on different things, so that's what I relate to when I watch somebody as a leader. To me, is like doesn't have to be the loudest guy. It's what you do game in and game out, or every day, not just on the ice, off the ice. You present yourself. You deal with media, which is very important in Montreal and Toronto and the Canadian markets. You represent the franchise. You represent the owners. You represent the players. You're the link between the players and the coaches. So there's a lot of responsibility, but you don't have to change. I look at Suzuki. First thing I told him at the golf tournament, when I went to him, I said, congratulations, you were my pick. I'm glad it's you. And I said, you don't have to change. I know you're quiet. I know it's perfect. Just
play
don't
the
change
same.
because you're the captain. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you're doing fine. And he was young. I mean, he got the captaincy in his early 20s. So, and he is doing good. He's improving every year, and it doesn't affect his play. And I think he's
seems
well
like a
respected.
classy kid. Like there's no bullshit with him. He's
Exactly.
straight and narrow.
you could tell he's respected by the rest of the guys too. I think he's got that room. He's got some veterans that help him out, but he's well respected. He's clean cut. He does his things right. He represents the brand well. He represents the team well. He's a perfect fit as a captain for the franchise. So that's a bit how I was. It was more on the quiet side. But I remember at some point I needed to say something, because as the captain, sometimes you need to shake things up, or everybody's looking at you. Like, I wasn't doing well personally. The team was in a slump. And I remember we were at the Molson Brewery and we had an event, and I went to Guy Lafleur. I said, Guy, I got a problem. I said, I don't know what to do. I said, I'm not doing well personally. I feel like if I say something, I'm bullshitting because I'm not performing well. And he said, Vinny, just go for it. Go for it. The guys will, if you need to say something, guys will understand. Go for it and put more on you.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. No, I would think the same though. Like,
So
if I'm not playing good, how am I going to say something?
Yeah. So I'm in Pittsburgh and I call a meeting, and that's not usually I kind of follow up on the captain's what he says, but I'm the captain. So I got to start the meeting, and I'm saying, guys, we got to look at ourselves in the mirror, and you got to stop looking at the other guy. And I said, I'm going to play better, and it starts today. And for some reason, it just clicked for me and clicked for the team. So it was a great lessons from Guy. Just put more pressure on yourself to perform. And if,
That's
you can only try.
That's unreal.
Right?
I feel like in Montreal there should be a special club for you guys, like an underground, like
There is.
and it's like old Montreal, and all the captains, you guys are always meeting there and
I just
helping
I see
to do
smoke and like a
Perry.
whiskey.
But it was
In the wine cellar.
Yeah, that's one of the big difference that I saw from the Leafs to the Canadians was the history in Toronto was there, but when I played, there was nobody around. It was Dave Keon wasn't around, the older players weren't around, and when I got to Montreal, they had an old timers room in the new building, and Maurice Richard was always around, Jean Béliveau, Guy Lafleur.
Wow.
That's odd. And
And you walk in and you're like, unbelievable. Like you don't have a choice but to perform or try to give your all for that.
Did they make
organization.
another locker room in the new building where it's all the legends of the Montreal?
Yeah, we
Canadiens?
have a old timers room, Les Anciens, and we have a place where we have food, we have a bar, we have stools, it's beautiful. And every game that I go, I stop by there, and there's at least 5 guys that play for the Canadians that are there with their family, grandkids, and
so cool.
so
Oh, man.
The history of that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a key to that room for Saturday night.
Yeah, Murr, you ain't getting let there. So at that point, you'd played Toronto, Edmonton, Montreal, only Canadian markets, and then finally the trade happens. You go to, of all places, the San Jose Sharks.
Quickly before
Yeah.
you go, sorry, because I looked up
No.
Damphousse trade to San Jose, and the first thing I see is worst trades in Montreal Canadian history. And then it actually mentions that you guys were on a flight. You were up in the air and you found out. I don't know if that's true.
yeah, no, that's true. That's a funny story where Réjean Houle is a great man. Okay, he handles the alumni room, and I see him all the time, and he traded me, but I got a lot of respect for him, and he was put in a position. It was very difficult. The franchise the Molsons wanted to sell the team at the time, and they weren't investing in their players. I was becoming free agent at 31, and we had a meeting a couple months before to see if they wanted to extend my contract, and it was clear that it wasn't going to happen. So I knew that my days were doomed. It was just a matter of time. But the deadline was at 3:00 on March 23rd, and we had a flight at noon on March 23rd to go to Edmonton. So the day before, he brings me and Quintal in his office, and he says, guys, I'm going to try to trade you. I just want to bring you in here to thank you for the time that you spent for the Canadians and for this franchise, but it's just business. I'm going to try to trade you. So Quintal says, well, what about the flight tomorrow? Are we going on, or are we staying at home? And he was like, no, you guys go on that flight. So
Like,
The
why?
next day, no trade in the morning, so it's noon, and we fly out to Edmonton. And at the time, there was the coaches, and Réjean was in Montreal in his office working the trades, but the coaches were in front, media was in the middle, and I was playing cards with Rosinski and Savage and my buddies, and just like we always do, we're just in the back and playing cards. And they had those phones, you know, with you could call in
Air Force One style.
So I would go every hour to the media. Some of them were my friends. I said, "Have you heard anything yet?" Or no, nothing yet. So 1 o'clock passes, 2 o'clock passes. We're over Winnipeg, and
You're 5K in the hole because you've been going all in every hand.
I don't
I'm never
have to
going to
pay
see
these.
these guys again.
Yeah, I get the blue light, right? You guys are blue lighting me?
so at 5-3, I see Gaetan Lefebvre, our medical guy, comes up down the back of the alley, and he taps me on the shoulder. He said, "Coach Vigneault wants to speak to you."
Oh,
so I
God.
go up past the media, and I said, "What's going on, LA?" He said, "Well, we just traded you." I said, "Okay, where?" He said, "You're going to San Jose." I said, "Okay, is there anybody else on the team?" Or he said, "No, you're the only one." So I said, "What do I do now?"
Yeah, I'm in Edmonton with one bag.
He
Well,
said,
that's your parachute. Good luck.
no.
Open up the exit.
So he said, "I don't know, speak to, forget the name of our media guy." So he tells me that I need to stay on the plane when we get to Edmonton because San Jose is playing in Toronto the next day. So we land. So I go back to my seat and I'm emotional because I'm traded for Montreal and that's not what I wanted. But so a lot of emotions comes up and. But after 10 minutes, the guys all come and say a few words. But after a while, you're like, okay, deal him up. Let's go, guys. Let's keep playing. What are you going to do? Got 2 more hours.
Do I like this guy?
Check. Check.
So we land in Edmonton, and I stay on the plane. Everybody leaves. I'm by myself with the stewardess and the pilots. They fuel up. And I feel like a king, and I fly back with this huge plane by myself back to Montreal because the plane was going back. So I stayed with them. I went back to Montreal. I had time to make a couple phone calls, pack my stuff. I'm coming to Montreal. So I flew 10 hours that day, got all my clothes, flew to Toronto, and that was the beginning of my career with the Sharks. We won 8-5. I got 2 goals at the that building. And
Easy start.
Daryl Sutter, I went to meet him in Toronto. I said, "Hi, Daryl. Is there anything I should know about the system or how do you guys play?" He said, "No, just
go.
Do your shit." Put me on the ice with Owen Nolan and Jeff Friesen, and that was my line for a while over there, and it was great.
And how many years had Patrick Marleau played at that point? I feel like that group
Beginning.
Yeah, that group was a pretty young core, and I'm sure they wanted your leadership.
My first year was a mix of guys. It was Vernon, it was Suter, Vernon, Lowry.
But that was kind of the start of that culture there because they went on to have success for years and years and years.
You had some good teams there.
We had some
Second round twice, conference finals once.
Yeah,
last
we beat
year.
I think my first year or second year, we beat St. Louis, who was number 1. So we beat them in 7. We're 8 beat number 1, which is a great upset. But, looking back, you get traded. Sometimes it's difficult, but they're always great experiences. Like you got to make the best of it. That's something that I learned from myself that I've been good at is adapting to new environment and adapting to new teams. And you meet new people, you make new friends, you meet new teammates, and guys are all, for the most part, they're all good guys. So you just meet other guys and you just make other connections. And so it was 5 really great years for me. I finished my contract, I think 11 games in the season, playoffs. And Doug Wilson tells me, "Vinny, you're our number 1 priority. We want to re-sign you." So it was refreshing to me to hear that. I signed on June 20th, 5 years in San Jose, but I was 10 days.
You could have gone anywhere.
I was 10 days from being free agent.
For the first time too, right?
For the first time in my life, after 13 years in the NHL. But there's something to say about saying the right things to your player. Like when you have a star player, you got to be careful how you handle that negotiation because, sometimes you want to play hardball, but if you tell them, that's the way I felt anyways. If you tell them, you know what, we want you back. You're a key guy. We want to build around you. If I'm hearing that from my GM and he doesn't want to bullshit me, and he wants to tell me straight up, I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In a sense of maybe leaving a little bit on the table?
Maybe. But yeah, for me, yeah, I didn't know. It was like the unknown being free agent. But I could have said, you know what, I'm going to wait and I'm going to see what's out there. But I was happy in San Jose.
I was going to say
the organization were great to me for the month that I was there plus playoff. And I was like, okay, I'm in. Let's go.
Given the strength of the league and where it was headed, was that obviously your best financial contract?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Of course. Yeah, I caught the wave at the end of my career where everything changed and everything was like, and I was becoming more involved with the PA. I became vice president. I was voted by the players to kind of represent them. And I knew that was coming. So I signed my contract to where the CBA was going to end. That's where I wanted to go and see where it took me after. I was 36 when the lockout hit. I was very involved with meetings, and that was my university. I had my spa business, but really where I learned a lot of stuff, a lot of the business parts and the pressure of time and pressure and all that from the players that were holding out that wanted to play, from what I thought was right, from what Bob Goodenow was telling us, and all. I had to make sense of all that and give my opinion. That's what I was there for. It's not just a yes man. It's like, I think we should do this or I think we should do that. And there's consequences to both. But I was 400 days in lockout with the rest of my 700 guys, and I was representing them in front of Bettman, the league, the lawyers, the sitting in a room for hours. And it was going to university for me. It was unbelievable. Very intense, but I'm glad I did it.
That's amazing.
And you played 82 games the last 3 years of your career, and then the lockout comes. Did you just kind of know, like, that's it? Like, I don't have the passion anymore. I don't want to play anymore. Or like,
I didn't know. I wanted to come back to. I remember when we lost to Calgary in the semifinals in my last year in San Jose. I was sitting in the room and I looked around and I said, "This could be it." But
it had already entered your mind
because I knew the lockout was coming. And I knew it was going to be long. I knew they were prepared. I knew it was the cap was going to maybe come in, maybe not. And I looked around and I said, okay, take it in because this could be your last game. That was April 2004. And then the lockout hit. And when we signed the following year, the CBA, half the guys weren't signed. Half the guys had no contract because the owners prepared the contract so that everybody ended in 2004. A lot of guys didn't come back, and I was one of them. But when we re-signed, I was interested in coming back to Montreal or going back to San Jose. And neither organization was ready to give me a contract because it was the unknown. They were more signing the young guys.
The cap.
But I wasn't ready to retire yet. So that's June and then July. So one day I'm training hard. The other day I'm like, I got enough of this. And then another day I'm going up the mountain in Mont Tremblant and training. And so that was back and forth in my head like that. What do I want to do? Motivation was kind of off and on. And then I get an offer from Washington in August, late August, Ovechkin's first year. They're under the floor. Remember, there's a floor. Yeah. There's a cap.
It was
there's
like
a floor.
$6 million.
$39 million was the cap. The first year. 22 was the floor. 23, and they needed to sign somebody to get to the floor. They had finished last the year before, and Washington offers me this contract for 1 year, and I'm like, I think I'm done. So I tell my agent, tell him no. And once you say no to one team, it's like finished, right? So I announced my retirement 2 days later, but that offer forced me to make a decision. And I never looked back. The only regret I have is I never played with Ovechkin.
I know. Yeah.
You might have got another deal. I would have been his center. I would have been his center. Yeah. When I said no, they signed Andrew Castles the next day for the same contract he offered me.
No shit.
Wow.
And Andrew played with Ovechkin his first year. I think he had 52 goals first year.
Holy shit.
Do you have a strong opinion on like the way that the CBA has been handled up into this point? Are you happy with where the game is at and how the players are being treated compared to maybe when you first entered the league? Like, where do you sit on all that? And are you still like heavily involved in a sense of paying attention to where it's all moving?
Well, I'm involved not with the PA, but I'm involved with media. So now when I speak on TV about a contract or somebody, like I have the knowledge of, how much space the contract will take under a team's cap. And I can kind of have an opinion based on what I went through. And I'm very happy. Like the cap was $39 million the first year. Some people were afraid that it was going to come down. Like we didn't know. We didn't know what we were getting into. It's a partnership with the league. We're trying to grow the business together. We get half and the owners get half. And their franchise, it went up to the roof. But good for them. The players... There's always going to be issues, but I think overall, the game has grown unbelievable. There's more franchises, there are more solid markets, and the players are getting their share. They're signing big contracts earlier. I think the difference is if you perform at a young age, you'll get paid quicker. They're set. You look at Lane Hudson in Montreal. He's going to sign a big ticket probably this summer. Good for him. You perform, you make the money. When I played, it was like you had to wait till I was 31 years old to become free agent, and you had to grind and perform, and you were paid for past performance. Now you're paid, you perform, you're going to get paid. And if you don't perform, you're going to get pushed out quicker. So there's less.
You get paid actually for potential a little bit. You get paid for, what you've done, but it's also like, all right, he's only 23 and we've seen this. Whereas you had to do it all and then they'd take care of you when you played.
Yeah, I think there's always a risk. If you sign a player 8 years and if he doesn't perform, it could be heavy on your cap for a long time. So there's always that risk. But that's why you need to really know who you have and evaluate your player properly. But there's no guarantee. A lot of things can happen, injuries but it's interesting to see how GMs adapt to year in, year out to how they construct their team and what decision they make. It's fun to watch. I think the game has never been better. The guys are fast. They're good. There's a lot of talent. A lot of countries are now coming up with some quality players. So. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. I hope there's going to be labor peace the next time around. Seems like I think there's going to be well. Too much to lose now, right?
Yeah, and it kind of alludes to a point that we've been talking about over and over since being a little bit more involved with Glenn Healy and the alumni, and just paying more attention as the older we get. Like the insurance aspect for the older players that maybe weren't treated as good as these younger guys are now. Do you think that that's a possibility that these guys get all their insurance and medical bills taken care of?
Well, I hope that the players now and the Players Association look at that. And I work at the Players Association after I retired. That's one thing that I did. I worked for a year and a half, and one of my projects was to give back some of the surplus money that was available from, I think, 89 season to 96. And I was calling guys that were in trouble, calling guys. I said, there's a check coming for you because all the surplus, if you played in those years, you'll get something. And want to send it to the right address. And that was up to 96. But there are some guys that are struggling. Even if they played in the 90s and even if they made some money, the reality is still that guys play an average of 4 years, and then you're out, and you got a lot of them don't have schooling, and it's difficult to go from playing in the NHL to sometimes nothing, and they're trying to find a job. You know how hard it is. It's a grind. There's always guys trying to take your job. So, yeah, alumni players need help, and I know the league and the PA are helping, but as far as insurance and all that, I'm not in the details now, but Glenn Healy's is very good, and I'm sure he's going to do the right thing.
I just got to say one more thing before we wrap up. We share a same birthday, so when I first saw your hockey card, you became one of my favorite players. But then when you beat the Islanders, you dropped out.
You ripped it up?
Yeah, now
you bend the corners?
Yeah, but now with the story about being traded and you still went back to the plane and said, let's keep playing cards.
This is your guy.
You've moved back up. You're back up there.
There you go.
So, yeah, if you help us with this health insurance, then you're definitely going to be my number one
yeah,
player
you'll be
all
at the top
time.
of the list. And we're going to do a content piece where you go play blackjack with Merles and Whit.
This was unreal.
Yeah.
What a pro you are, and a hell of a career. We thank you very much.
Legend.
Congrats on everything.
Thank you for having me, guys. We're big fans in the family. My boys love you guys.
Yeah, good luck to
Me
the
too.
Damphousse
How come
boys.
you didn't get a scented candle like Sid?
Guys, we got big news in the Spittin Chiclets world. We just launched our co-branded hockey training aids with Skills, the leading sports skill training brand. Now you can go to Dick's Sporting Goods and see Spittin Chiclets on the shelves. We just released training aids for players of all ages. We have the universal shooting target, the hockey shooting trainer, and the foam shooting targets, perfect for the driveway or on the ice. These products will help your offensive game in a big way. You'll be sniping after you get the Skills in the Spittin Chiclets combo. The universal shooting target builds a visual focus to improve shooting accuracy. The hockey shooting trainer features 5 target areas and helps build the vision and muscle memory needed to increase scoring percentages. And the foam shooting targets have quick hook and loop attachments for multiple shot locations. So go get the brand new Skills and Spittin Chiclets hockey training aids, now available online and in-store at Dick's Sporting Goods. Guys, this episode is brought to you by Body Armor Sports Drink. Right here, I'm holding a strawberry banana, my favorite flavor. Body Armor has great tasting flavors like the one I just mentioned and orange mango. No artificial dyes, flavors, or sweeteners. None of the crap, none of the stuff that your body doesn't need, just hydration and amazing tasting Body Armor Sports Drink. I'll tell you right now, strawberry banana is the only one I drink. I'm just obsessed with it. That's how I used to get smoothies. That's how I drink my Body Armor. And now in a bold new look with the same great taste, get your Body Armor today at Walmart or a local grocery store near you. Body Armor. Choose better. Thank you so much to Vincent Damphousse. Awesome time hanging out with him in Montreal. So we appreciate it. And we have another interview. That is Barstool Sports' own Jon Feitelberg. Great guy. Have known him for quite a while now. And Biz, you were all over the new show he has with Tommy Smokes and Lil Sass. Where did you even see it or hear about it?
I think probably a few months ago is when people were talking about the fact that Barstool was going to release its first series. And then obviously the trailer came out. And, I think that lured a lot of people in and engaged people's interest. And episode 1 ended up coming out last week. And it was great. It's a hard thing putting something together like that. They did on the Out of Order YouTube channel, they released like an Actors on Actors where they talk about how it came to be. Pabs and Owen are like the directors and writers of it. And the Out of Order guys, like Feitelberg, Sask, KB No Swag, Nick Tyranny, and Tommy Smokes, and many more Barstool employees who get in the mix, like Gruden was involved in a skit for Gruden Bowl. They finally just all got together and did this show, Les Mascots. It's going to be 7 episodes. Episode 1 dropped. And then today, later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the Out of Order YouTube channel, episode 2 will come out. So
200,000 people have already watched the first episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it got rave reviews. They did this with, I hope we're allowed to say it, a $20,000 budget, guys. The fact that they were able to put this together for 20 grand is absolutely ridiculous. So credit to them. Putting themselves out there and releasing the first ever series / sitcom that Barstool has done. And great dudes, KFC radio with Feitelberg. I mean, they've been doing it forever. So a few OGs mixed in with, Little Sask, who's been with the company, I think 5 or 6 years, got together and did this awesome project. So we'll throw over to Fights right now to talk about how it came to be and a lot of situations that came up over the course of filming it. And I hope a lot of you guys check it out, because it's great, and there's 6 more episodes coming out.
Jon Feitelberg. We are now joined by good friend of the show, and star actor. And I actually asked him, is it called Les Mascots or Les Mascots? He goes, your guess is as good as mine. Jon Feitelberg, the Cookie Monster. What's up, buddy?
What's up, boys? It's an honor to be here. I guess Biz can probably answer that for us with how it's pronounced. I think it's Lay, but
Yeah, Les Mascots.
Is Biz getting points on? Like, I was like, I saw Tommy Smokes talking. Everyone's like, is Biz being paid by you guys? No, he just loves it.
Dude. I mean, Biz, I've loved you forever, man. I can't love you more than I do now, dude. You're just,
buddy. I could only imagine the time and energy that went into putting this together. I watched the actors on actors while I was waiting for episode 1. I thought episode 2 was coming out tonight, so I watched that leading up to it, the remainder of the actors on actors. So just to hear that you guys were writing that thing for about 18 months, right? That's how long it took you guys to put this together?
We were like writing scripts for like 18 months. We wrote like 2 movies that we kind of just got like 100 pages into or whatever, and we're like, this isn't really working. So we wrote for that long. But Les Mascots itself, Owen had the idea probably a year and a half ago. So I guess, yeah, that is 18 months. And then the actual writing, like when we really got down to brass tacks of it, was probably, I don't even remember. Let's call it 3 months just to be safe. 3-4 months, something like that.
So it was kind of Owen and Pavs who spearheaded this, and I would assume that they're heavily involved in the out of order and how all the skits began, because my understanding from the actors on actors 2 was you guys were approached early on where it was you and Sask who were the OGs of the out of order, where you guys had barely spoken, really barely met each other, and all of a sudden you guys were put together to do this kind of like skit project.
Yeah, that's kind of how it happened, really. Is I would guess Owen and Pavs talked behind the scenes and were like, these 2 will probably do it because they wanted to do something. I honestly don't really remember how it all came together. But it was definitely Owen and Pavs, like 100% them behind it. However it went about, whoever they asked first or whatever the situation was, Owen and Pavs are behind the whole thing from start to finish.
Mascots, how long like did the filming take? Like, how was it hard for you to remember the lines? I've actually been told by people at Barstool that you're a legit very good actor. Like, have you kind of always been into that?
Literally never, Whit. I mean, I've always liked movies and television. Don't get me wrong about that. But I've never done anything like that. Never was in like a high school play. Never was in an elementary school play. I just like movies and TV. And that's, I guess, why I'm okay at it. I don't really know, but it is. It's fun. It's really, really fucking fun. You guys could probably relate to this. I've been saying that it's the most I've ever felt on a team since I was on a team. Like, we've done podcasts and you have partners and stuff like that, but this is like, there are 10 people who have a role, and to fucking do a good job, everyone better do their role every day, better come prepared. And it's been very, very cool to get to experience that kind of like, honestly, kind of locker room camaraderie again, like getting jacked up for each other when we nail a line. It's pretty lame to say it about fucking
No.
But like, it is the way it kind of works out, where we get like jazzed up when someone nails something. So it's been like just an incredible experience. I'm very, very lucky to have had it.
You could tell by the actors on actors that you guys were very close. You enjoyed the whole process. You were kind of nervous together, I guess, before it came out and how it would be received. That's probably the worst part. And then obviously when it comes out and you see all the positive feedback, it's like, oh man, you could take a fucking deep breath and really, kind of celebrate.
Biz, that's what I thought. I wasn't nervous until the first one came out, and now I've just been in a state of panic since.
What, that people wouldn't like it?
I feel like it was extremely well received. Like it was an awesome job. I love the way it begins. So you're like, okay, this thing ends up winning an award. So you're kind of drawn in right away. Then you get the perspective of like just watching it, and then you get it's Dustin, right? His little Sask.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you call him Dusty in it?
Call him Dusty, of course. Oh
yeah. So then you get his recording point of view, and then it draws it back at the end of the episode to like going back to the award. So you're seeing like different points of view, and the pie in the face kind of leaves you with a cliffhanger episode 1 where you're like, okay. And another thing, that new spot that you showed up, I liked it because it seemed way less chaotic. So it seemed like almost this like new sanctuary. And then you get the pie in the face. It's kind of like, okay, what's going to happen next?
Spoiler alert. You should have said spoiler alert.
If you haven't watched episode 1 by now, knowing that he was going to be on, you're a dickhead. So you could reload with episode 1 and then episode 2, which will be coming out tonight when this is dropped on Tuesday night. Although I just tweeted it was coming out tonight on Monday. I was a little too excited.
No, the episode 2 comes out tonight, and I was saying earlier that we're more nervous now because if it came out and it sucked and it was a dud, then we can all be like, all right, guys, we tried something. Let's go back to our fucking podcast and stop pretending we're active. But now that it's successful, now it's like, well, fuck. Now that people like it, it's like, now I don't want to let down the people who liked the first episode. Right now, we're like, well, fuck, we better not suck in the next 6. But I do genuinely believe that it only gets better. I think I truly believe that it is a good show that only gets better. And I think people are really going to like it as it continues to come out.
Fights. I know that you're hooked up with a lot of those, the comedians nowadays. And it feels like a lot of those guys are putting their specials out on YouTube. Even you think of Shane Gillis putting out tires, kind of doing that. Kind of like how you guys did it, like guerrilla style. Is that kind of, not having to go through the networks anymore? Is that kind of something that you guys learned from those guys where it's like, okay, we can just do it ourselves and put it out there?
Well, it's funny you say that because we actually did have not interest from networks, but we had, like I got buddies who were like agents or have agents in LA and stuff like that. And we showed the script to them before we'd started filming. And we showed it to a couple of them and they all basically said, this is worth shopping. This is good. And we obviously that gets us juiced up. That's the dream. If you're writing a show, the dream's to sell it to a streamer. And then we kind of had conversations. We had a few texts with like Dave and which were never reciprocated. So we never really had the conversation, but, like we were trying to figure out, like, is that even something we can do? We literally don't know, like if we're allowed to have a show on Netflix with our contracts and stuff like that. So we just really never figured it out and never got to the table for that. But I think there was a part of me in the back of my mind that when we were having those conversations was always going, I don't know. I think it might be better just to put it on YouTube. And I don't know why I thought that, because we've had interviews throughout KFC radio history where people come in and they kind of give us that spiel with like, yeah, we wanted to put it right to YouTube. We didn't want it on streaming.
You're like, all right, buddy.
I found myself rolling my eyes a bit going, yeah, I fucking bet you wanted it. You don't want it on streaming. But then once we got like 3 months into that uncertainty of like, are we going to even have a meeting about this? We were like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just put it out. And I truly think that was the right move. Well, I could be proven wrong in the future, but I just think that would have changed vibes around it. I think that would have changed expectations. I think going right to YouTube was the right move to kind of show people what we've done.
And how much like the streaming services maybe want to have their input. Okay, you can't say this joke, can't do this. We need to get this put through legal. And you're like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Because
or they want
Ian's kind of
recast
touched on it.
Their buddies, like they want Tommy Smokes out of there. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't know what the networks are going to say.
We got down to like, we weren't really positive what was going to happen with the show. It started in August. Late July, early August, we still weren't really sure what was going to happen. And then it kind of came to a point where someone said, like, look, if we get this meeting with the streamers, it's not coming out anytime soon. And that was when we were like, well, fuck it. I don't want to wait a year and a half for maybe 20 grand. Like, that's insane. You know, once you get down to like what the breakdown of what everyone gets is going to be and what it's streaming gives a first time contract, we're like, why the fuck would we wait a year and a half to find out if we even make money?
When you guys filmed in downtown, do you need like permits and stuff for that?
The rule that we kind of came to understand is basically if there isn't a tripod, you're good. And we were literally nowhere we went where we ever hassled except for Grand Central Station because we did have tripods and cops came up and they were very cool. They were like, hey, you guys need a permit. Come with us. We'll help you get one. And then that was the end of that. But no, honestly, everywhere we went, I've kind of been attributing it to the fact that like everyone does like selfie videos everywhere now, that people were full on excited to see us. Like, I think they were just like, oh, thank God it's not someone doing a fucking TikTok dance. Like, people were jacked up. They thought it was cool. They thought like everyone was very obviously, you know, Biz and the company as a whole. But basically everyone I've talked to throughout this whole process, be it a stranger in the street or Paul Bissonnette, has been so supportive. It's been unbelievable.
Me and Whit loved it too.
We just didn't tweet about it nonstop, but I will. I'm gonna bump Biz's tweets like off the algorithm. By
when
tweeting
you
about it
got
more than-
fired in it and you took your head off, were those real shots of people like antagonizing you on the walk?
Oh yeah, those are kids. Those honestly, those kids, those weren't actors. Those were
That's
kids in the street.
amazing.
And who would have guessed that they would start yelling back at me? Like that's just the serendipity if you get in New York that 7-year-olds will start screaming at you for no reason.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Out of Order YouTube. When you guys got put together and it all started, we mentioned it was the skits you guys were doing. You guys have done ones with Gruden along the way. Was the first one you guys ever did the Babcock one? Because I rolled down and I went all the way down, and I that was the first video that was like popped up.
I think that was our first. So when we first started it 3 years ago now, we originally did it in episode form. Instead of like just weekly tweeting out the sketch, we would do a half hour like sketch episode on YouTube. So technically those are the first ones, but I think Babcock was the first one that we put out as a solo. Like the other ones, we would group like 5 of them together and put out an episode. I think Babcock was the first solo.
The Gruden one is incredible. It was watching. What was it? Watching the Super Bowl with him.
Yeah,
That was and the girls coming in.
he was incredible. Like as good as you could possibly be. And the night before, I was out to dinner with Jake Malasek, who is Gruden's guy down in Tampa. If you guys don't know him, he's the best. And we're out to dinner, and he goes, "What are you going to do if he doesn't want to do it tomorrow?" And I was like, "Malasek, what do you? That's why I'm here, bro.
What is your job, Malasek?
I thought this was all cleared. Like the reason I'm in New Orleans is to film this sketch. There's no other reason for me to be here." And he's like, I don't know. Sometimes he doesn't want to do stuff. Or I forget what he said, but Gruden came in the next morning, couldn't have been happier to be there, and couldn't have been a cooler guy. Just
He looked like he'd been acting for 20 years.
I know.
He was fucking incredible.
He was just such a genuine guy. I don't know dick about acting, but like in my experience, people who are good at acting are just like good guys or genuine people who are down to fuck around and can go with the flow. And we have a lot of those here at Barstool. So that's why we've been so lucky with like everyone we talk to or everyone we need for a role, be it big or small. Like everyone knocks it out of the park. You know, what you said, I'm good. Like, has there been someone who's bad?
Yeah. I actually Gruden at the Internet Invitational, right when I saw him, he's like, "I got you a package, man. I got you something, man." And he was like, "You're gonna love it." And it's sent to my house. I gotta go open it. I have no clue what it is.
But you have it right now?
I have the packet. I
think we should do it.
Yeah.
Go get the package. I'll ask Whites another question. You go get the package right now.
Yeah, I got one for him. Yeah. So said like you were saying, just being nervous about the first one coming out. Like, are all the episodes done? Like, say the first one didn't hit home and whatever, people didn't like it. Would you guys have the ability to change up episode 2, or everything's done?
Everything's done.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make like nothing that hasn't come out yet is quote unquote locked. I would say like, we're still tinkering with stuff. And by we, I mean Pavs. But like, there's really no way to make any grand changes. You can make this joke over here or something like that. But basically I would say we have like 3 scenes left to shoot in the whole season. And they're all like very minor things. Actually, today, right before we finished this, we finished like basically, I'm sorry, before we started this, we finished basically like our last major shoot day. So now like we have a couple of quick little things, but it's essentially done. My job is essentially done. Mikey Pavanelli still has a lot of work. But
Fights, you keep chirping yourself like, I'm not an actor, because you never really did it growing up, but you got to start somewhere. You're doing it with these skits, and now the leap into this. Like, where are your nerves at before you start filming a project like this? And like, how were they towards the end? Because like sometimes when like I got to do even little shit to try to like remember your lines, like your facial reaction, trying to say it naturally, like how much did you improve throughout the course of the filming of this? And like, like you had to act because that was a different person than the skits, right?
That it's a great question, Biz. I said something like this after the premiere. Because at the premiere, we showed the first 2 episodes, and I was so uncomfortable watching myself because I knew how uncomfortable I was filming. Because I was like so nervous, so scared, felt so unprepared, all that stuff. And I don't know how I look in the later episodes, but I do know I don't feel that anymore because like we got like a week or two into filming, and then I thought I had the realization like, ooh, I should probably fucking learn how to act. So I started like trying to learn. You know, I watch Inside the Actor Studios and master classes and read some books, and I probably can't pick up too much knowledge, but I know more now than I did 6 months ago when we started.
Like what? Like as in like when you're not like on camera, staying in character a little bit. Like what little things?
Like Samuel L. Jackson was talking about. It's actually a really cool clip. Samuel L. Jackson has a masterclass on acting, and he's just the man, obviously. And it's so cool watching actors talk about acting because like it all comes down to like basically all the advice is like, I don't know, dude, pretend. Like that's really all the advice you can give. But he was given little notes like where voices come from. And when I heard that, I realized like when I talk, my voice comes from like down here. But when Henry talks, it's like the back of my throat. And then he was saying other cool things like I don't know how familiar you guys are with Samuel L. Jackson's catalog, but have you seen A Time to Kill with Matthew McConaughey? A great movie.
Oh yeah. That's a fucking unreal one where his daughter gets and then
Exactly. And
This is gonna ruin another movie.
No, that's why I held myself back, you fucking asshole.
But he was talking about that one where he's like, you know, you got to find a character and just, well, this is his own advice. He's like, and just think of like someone you know who they remind you of. And he was referencing A Time to Kill. And he's like, that reminded me of my dad. My dad kind of worked the fields in Alabama or wherever it was he grew up. And he's like, so I just moved like him. And that helped me keep staying character.
I'll go down like Daniel Day-Lewis rabbit holes when he's talking about his roles and stuff, just to hear them break down how they get into that character, whether it was Lincoln or the guy in There Will Be Blood, like how he changes his voice up for that time of when that was all going down. It's fucking nuts how these people do it. It's fucking crazy.
It's really, really cool. I don't know. No, I hope to figure out how they do it better. But it's very fun to, I don't know, I guess play with the human mind a little bit. I don't know.
Life gets a little boring, right? You got to change it up and want to be someone else once in a while. Yeah. Who was the most intimidating person in this to be on camera with? I feel like Sask is pretty natural as far as like his ability with expressions and how to act. There was the guy who's the comedian off the hop. Is it Ari something?
Ari Shaffir, yeah.
Ari Shaffir, he's a big deal. And then the other guy who hits you guys on the head when he was coming to fire you.
That's Ben Bailey. If you guys know Cash Cab, he's the Cash Cab driver.
Oh, that's okay. That's where I recognize him from. Okay. Yeah. He looks like he's a little bit more beefed up now.
Yeah, he's been hitting the gym. He's actually a rock climber. He's a mountain climber. So that might be where it's coming from. But yeah, to answer your question, Biz, about who was the most intimidating, nobody. Honestly, like, again, it almost feels like I've like speaking from like some fantasy, but like it was just a ton of fun. Everyone just was like down to have a blast. You know, like there were occasional little arguments, but like no big fights, no big, anything really. So I don't know. I don't really think anyone was intimidating. I like working with Tommy the best. I think Tommy's amazing. He's really, I don't know. I love Marlon, and I think Tommy did a great job with that character. So
I was wondering if he was gay until I watched the Actors on Actors.
He's who knows what he is. He's Marlon.
Fights. I know. Obviously, you're a quick-witted, funny guy. Like, how much of it is like the improv? Like, are you guys improv and everything, or everything's written down?
At this stage, like when we started doing the sketches, I would say those were more of like an idea.
Yeah.
And then we'd just start filming and hope we figured something out. And then as that, that was episode 1. That was how sketches went down. And then we were like, starting to learn stuff and figure things out. And then probably halfway through the sketches, those became pretty scripted. And then now the show is, we have some improv lines, of course, but we're 95, 99% on the script, maybe higher than that.
Are you guys writing for yourselves, or you have other people writing and you guys are helping each other out, or you're specifically writing for Henry?
No, I wrote very little for Henry. It's same thing. The show is extraordinarily largely written by Owen Roeder. I helped out with an episode or two. Episodes 2 and 5, I think, were the ones I helped out with. Tommy helped out with a couple. But I mean, this is Owen Roder's brain, baby. This is him soup to nuts.
If you could summarize it in like a minute, how would you describe like what the story is?
I would say it's a blend of Entourage and Always Sunny in Philadelphia are the two show concepts that I think ring through the most. And then it is it's a college film student goes to make a documentary about his famous uncle, only to learn that he's been lying and he's an aspiring actor working as Times Square Cookie Monster and lives with his roommate, Times Square Elmo. And then hijinks ensue. We're trying to raise money to put on a play that we've been working on our whole lives. And we're out there trying to collect money is basically how the show goes.
I just got one quick thing. So what's given away at the beginning, it ends up winning some award at a short film festival, the Susquehanna. Is that an actual film festival?
I don't know that it's an actual film. I believe that it is. Certainly a real place, Susquehanna. I think it's a real film festival, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
I'm being told that you were told there was going to be a scene with your shirt off and silently not telling anyone you lost 20 pounds only for the scene to never be used.
Yes.
I'm going to tell myself that.
That's true.
We're doing Chiclets shirts off this year.
So okay. So this is back in like January, February, probably. We're going through these things that are called character worksheets, which are about 100 questions that you have with each character. And you kind of just sit around at the table and just answer them. And they really don't ever come up in the script. It's more for the actor to kind of just know what this dude's all about. And it's like, what's the relationship like with your parents? Where'd you go to high school? Where'd you go to college? What sports were you into as a kid? All kinds of shit like that. And one of the questions was, what is the character's relationship with his body? So I asked that question to, Tommy and Owen and Paz and Sass. And they all kind of just chuckled at me and they were like, well, you're jacked. And I was like, I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I have muscles. I agree with that. I get
compared to them, you're jacked.
Yeah. But I don't have the kind of body that like on screen is going to be like a jack dude. Like I'm kind of more fat than jacked. So I was like, I think it would be a funnier thing if my character thinks he's jacked, but you guys all make fun of him behind the scenes being like, he's a fat guy, because that's how I look. And that's what I will probably look like on screen. And they were just like, nah, you're an idiot. You're fucking stop like trying to get compliments out of us. Shut up. Like you're jacked and that's your relationship with your body. And I was like, whatever, fine. It's not really going to come up. So like, who cares? I'll just move on. And then 2 weeks later, Pavs wrote a scene where I was shirtless and they call me the Pink Hulk. And I have very pink skin, if you don't know that.
So does Whit. Look at him. He's more pink than you.
Yeah. So like, I heard that got written and I was like, these fucking guys, I just fucking told them I don't look like that. And I was like, whatever. I don't even feel like having the conversation again. I'll just lose the weight and I'll make myself look like that. And so for like this was a part that
needle in his ass every morning.
You're on the tee?
I did. No, dude, this is clean.
Oh, natural.
So,
all right.
I was like, when Paz wrote that scene, we had like 2 months left to film, maybe a month. And so I was like, all right, I'll just do what I can. I'll clean it up a little bit for the next month and I'll look as good as I possibly can for that scene, but we'll see. But filming took so long that kept getting pushed. So we ended up filming that 4 months later. So for 4 months, I was just getting up every morning, going on the treadmill, the 13,330, whatever the fuck it is, and just eating cottage cheese. And I dropped 25 pounds. I was 231 and I'm weighing at 206.
You were up to 230. You carried 231 pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, I was big. That's what I mean. I was big. I had a lot of fucking muscle. I was big, but I had like a lot of fat on top of it too. And then so I dropped 25 pounds or whatever it was. And we go up to Lake Placid to film this whole episode. One whole episode takes place in Lake Placid. And we're at the lake and I'm kind of just looking around thinking like, boy, when are we going to film this fucking Pink Hulk scene? And then 20 minutes later, they go, all right, boys, that's a wrap for the day. We're done. Episode's locked. And I was like, where's the Pink Hulk scene? Why did I lose any of this weight?
4 months.
Bro, I lost 25 pounds to play Cookie Monster.
That's diving deep, man. That is fucking diving deep. Okay, so you said that there was a couple battles Was one of them over keeping the moth with asthma scene? And whose idea was
never a battle?
Whose idea was that one?
I believe that was Owen Roeder. I'm 99% sure on that. And that was never a battle. That scene was 100% of the time our favorite scene.
Okay.
But we did have no idea how the audience was going to react. Like, we were like, they might fucking hate
it. Makes for a hell of a meme. I'll tell you.
Yeah. When he's pulling his dick at the end, like an angry monkey. If you guys haven't seen the episode, Tommy's like in a leotard pretending to be an asthmatic, whatever. None of this is going to make sense to you. Tommy pulls his dick for no reason, just instinctually while he's yelling, like a scared monkey, just starts tugging at his dick.
Unreal.
It's a great scene. It's a great. I'm really pitching the show high here. Watch.
Is he in a leotard in that? Did you say that? Is that a black leotard?
I don't know if leotard's the right word. I think a leotard might expose the legs, but it's a black one piece. His legs are covered too.
We haven't even talked about Nick and KB No Swag being in it too. So they haven't really, in episode 1, they were barely in it, right? He's the agent, Nick.
He's the agent.
And KB's what? Some vaping TikToker?
KB's like his TikTok, he's
protege?
a client. He's a TikToker. He's like, if KB is, I'm sorry, if Nick is Ari Gold, KB is Vince, whereas we are the other guys.
You're Johnny Drama.
We're exactly. Yeah. We are. That's honestly when we were like kind of not coming up with the concept because Owen had that fully fleshed out. But when we were still talking about like the idea of the show, at one point Pav said, "Oh, it's Entourage, but Vince doesn't exist. It's just what would happen if Vince didn't exist." And we were like, "Oh my God, what a tagline! Entourage with no Vince." And that was honestly Pav's coming up with that line is probably what made us go like, okay, there's a show here. Like that's a show we can pitch.
Yeah, what did you get in the box, Whit?
All right.
Oh yeah.
What's going on here?
Because I got a package for you, man. That look in his eye.
It's all Feitelberg's used steroids needles.
I was never on the needle. I just took the
box within the box.
No.
Oh no.
If it's just a bunch of boxes, he's the funniest guy ever.
Yeah.
There's got to be something UGA.
And fights, we could talk to you about the Bruins a little bit too.
Oh, well, I was actually
what do you got here?
What's Stools out?
Stools out. You got that.
EFT,
Portnoy, Big Cat, EFT, myself. All right. It says Whit on it. What the hell is
What's that?
It's almost like a Build-A-Bear.
What is Stools out? It says the real autograph. A couple things in here.
Gruden was in there.
What is that box?
Is that a fucking football helmet?
Holy shit, boys.
It is a football helmet. What is that?
Oh my God.
What team is it?
Yes.
Is that a Patriots?
Dude, that's a signed Gronk helmet.
Shut up.
Oh, what a
dude, wear that for the rest of the episode.
What a fucking gift.
Pop it on.
When could they ever wear those?
Dude, wait, you look nasty.
Yeah, you do.
Dude, this is a signed. Hold on, there's more.
That's all you need.
Don't look pink anymore.
His tan finally came in.
Yeah.
Who signed the ball?
Brady signed that ball.
That's a Brady football.
Oakland Raiders. There's an autograph on there, but that doesn't look like Tom Brady to me.
No, it doesn't.
See?
Well, that's a hell of a gift there.
There's
what did you do for Gruden?
There's another thing in here.
Dude, that helmet is so badass, dude. I would never take that off.
This is fucking.
Fights' interview got hijacked by Gruden.
Oh my God, boys.
I'm enraptured right now. There it is. I knew there was a Brady something.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
What the fuck, Coach Gruden? Tom Brady, 7,753 completions, 649 touchdowns, 41 of 50.
That's a game used. The game used jersey.
I don't think. No, it's not game used. This is not.
Yeah, that's the
Coach Jon Gruden, guys. Thank you.
Hey, some clicks for Gruden.
I guess. I guess my box didn't make it.
Hey, Charles Woodson autograph ball, Gronk autograph helmet, and Tom Brady autograph jersey.
So you like Hall of Famers?
Gruden.
Yeah,
Jon Gruden.
I might give out my address on this episode so he sends me something.
Dude, this guy He's
I
the
love
biggest legend you'll ever meet.
Yeah. Okay. Fights.
That's sick.
Yeah. So you told us the one experience you had with them. How are you feeling about the Boston Bruins coming into this season?
You know,
What a downer after what I just opened.
Well, you know, Biz, I was telling the guys before you came on that I got prepared pretty well for this episode. This weekend, I went to Greer's wedding. I don't know if you know Greer, but he's from
He's got it on
Ontario.
backwards. He's got it on backwards.
AJ Greer?
No. Mike Greer. He works at
Oh.
Well, not the other Mike Greer. But he's from Guelph, Ontario. So a lot of his buddies came to the wedding, obviously. And I'm sure, you know, plenty of you guys have been around those kind of weddings where you're like, as the drinks start flowing, I know more guys are going to be coming up to me. And as the night went on, a lot of Torontoans, I guess what we call them, coming up to me. And I'll say this, if ever there was a year for them to have confidence, this is the year. And they did not have confidence. Every Leafs fan was coming up to me like, Fight Spot, what do you think about the Bruins this year, kid? And I'm like, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. Like, they look like shit. Our bottom 6 is 12 guys somehow. And they would all go, yeah, but you're probably still going to beat our ass. And I was like, really? The fucking of all years, these fans still can't have it this year?
No, Leafs will be better than the Bruins this year.
Yeah.
I mean, could I get some backup here?
Yeah, for sure. They would just be in Canadian nice.
I would.
They were trying to get you to say, no, you guys are going to win the cup, which you would never say because you're not a lunatic. But yeah, that for sure they would just say enough to say it.
I don't know. I don't know what to do about the Bruins. I don't know. They're in the worst place to be because they're not bad enough to tank. Yeah, I personally don't think so. I don't think with Swayman, McAvoy, Pasta, you could be that bad, but they're not good enough to be good either. So I don't really know.
But do you think the people of Boston are even okay with a rebuild, like tear this thing down to the studs?
I said once they moved Marchand, and I was pretty stern with my warning here, where I was like, if they get rid of Marchand, like I have to reevaluate my relationship with this team. Like Marchand was my guy. I don't know, particularly with a trade to Florida. And I said, and I still think I wouldn't fault David Pastrnak for shooting his way out of town. I don't think he will. That's not the kind of guy he is, but I wouldn't fault him at this point if he's like, get me the fuck out of here. Like this is, and I know there were the rumors earlier by the around the draft that like Florida wanted him, which I don't see how that's possible. But I don't think, well, I can't speak for the town, but I can speak for myself. I'm not in for a rebuild. I
really? Why not?
Because we can't.
You got 3
can't
stars.
rebuild with David Pastrnak on the team, and I don't want to trade him. You get like Pasta. You can reload with Pasta on the team, but you can't do a full rebuild and waste.
You got a D, you got a forward, and you got a goalie.
4 years.
Yeah, this is Grinelli's take too. He's like, you can't with those 3 guys.
Like how could you?
Can't.
Because even if you try, like let's say a rebuild, full on rebuild, not retool, not reload, whatever they like to be fancy with, full on rebuild. What does that take? 3 years, at least.
Oh, I mean, it took the Oilers like 15.
You hope for
And they got first overall every year.
It is, and it I guess in your situation, are they rebuilding with David Pastrnak or are they getting rid of him?
Yeah, I think you could rebuild with him until he's like, hey, I'm not down for this.
But even if you're rebuilding with him and he's down, you're wasting 3 years of his prime for no fucking reason.
I know.
So if you're going to rebuild, you might as well move him because he's not going to be any help.
Yeah, he's going to win you games. He's going to come in, 20th place every year and not have a great draft pick. And they're going to be on the cut. They're going to finish like 10 points out of playoffs for the next 4 years, I think.
But they might win the lottery because it's an original 6 franchise and they'll give him McKenna.
They're convinced that McKenna's going there. Is that who you guys thought was going to go there?
Yeah,
I said
then the one episode I said it, I switched it to Pittsburgh though because it'll be 20 years Lemieux, 20 years Crosby, 20 years McKenna. So it'll probably be a black and yellow team. We'll say that.
Eastern Conference. They want him on the East Coast.
I think best case scenario with this Bruins team is they overperform in the first half of the season. some guys that you probably could get something for. You trade at the deadline because they overperformed, maybe like a Casey Middlestat, and then you tank the whole second half of the season in an attempt to get Gavin McKenna. I think that's all you can root for as a Bruins fan at this point. Competitive hockey until the Olympic break. After that, throw in the towel and let's go for Gavin McKenna.
But like, I just, even with Swayman, I assume he's not going to have a year like he had last year. So I assume he's going to be better. I just don't think they're not good. I don't think they're a good hockey team, but I don't think they're within striking distance of tanking. I think they're just a little too good.
Just
the worst place to be.
Would you be more shocked if they came in last or if they made the playoffs?
I would be more shocked if they came in last.
Yeah, same.
Oh, I disagree completely.
I disagree. I completely disagree.
I could see them finishing last way more than I could see them making the playoffs.
See, it takes one injury. If you hate to say that, but if one guy, if one of their big three in Swayman, Pasternak, and McAvoy gets hurt, they are the worst team in the NHL. Like, no question about it.
Because they have no centerman.
The injury prospects. That's the kick in the dick. You don't even.
No, they got prospects now. I think they have prospects.
Bergeron's been skating too.
Oh, no shit, eh?
Who's their number one prospect, G?
James Higgins. They got that kid Will Zellers
I forgot about the draft.
They got that kid Will Zellers in the Charlie Coyle trade. They have Will Moore, second round draft pick from BU. Like, they definitely have some picks. I think it's going to take some time. They're not going to be ready for a year or two, probably 3, but they definitely have prospects. I think Don Sweeney's done a good job in rebuilding that.
What if they overperform in the first half, like you said, and then go out and make trades to try to make the playoffs?
I just think that
you're going the wrong way.
Yeah,
because they already had Toronto's first round pick. They had the Toronto first round pick.
Bring it back to the out of order stuff. What's next for like the group? Like, you're going to release this the next 6 Tuesdays. You have 6 more episodes coming out. After that, is it kind of back to the skits as well? Like,
no, I think, again, speaking for myself, but I think for the team a little bit. I think we've realized this is our goal. This is what we want to do. I think no matter what, we're getting a season 2 of Mascots. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dave doesn't seem to care. So, like, I think we can just do it again. So I think a season 2 of Mascots is definitely our dream. And as long as the response sticks on what it seems to be, I can all but guarantee.
Oh, it's awesome.
Biz was a mascot. Biz was a mascot for the Coyotes, and he's a good actor. You should have him come in.
Let me tell you what, Yandel. Paul Bissonnette has found himself a role in Les Mascots.
Oh, yeah.
If Paul Biz wants to be in Les Mascots season 2, he's in. That's a problem.
That's a little out of my range right now. I'd have to do a lot of practicing. It would be sick to come back.
I've seen that Soros, not Soros. Yeah, the Soros fucking player safety sketch. I've seen.
Oh yeah, George.
What about the commercial every other?
George
Soros.
Yeah.
I was thinking the goalie for Nashville.
Isn't that the guy funding the Democrats? Yeah.
That's the guy.
Or at least the internet says that.
Yeah.
Irvinish Oli is
I'm up with
behind the riots.
Biz is comfortable taking his shirt off too. So
yeah, you don't have to lose the weight.
Yeah. And then I was going back to that actors on actors. Sass said the best episode was episode 6. Would you agree with that?
I would. That's the Lake Placid episode.
Okay.
All right. I would agree that that's the best. I think
last one,
because that was like we all went to a cabin, like 10 of us, 12 of us, whatever it was, went to a cabin for like 4 days, and it was we just shot and wrote and had a blast, and I think that's gonna come through in the episode. We had a lot of fucking fun up there.
Were you guys playing guilty? Were you guys drinking most nights while you're writing and having the fun creative experience?
Biz, I'm like you. I'm more or less off the piss these days.
Okay.
So I was keeping it clean, but yeah, we were letting them flow a little bit.
Okay. And then you mentioned go ahead.
Just reading here, Biz, that Pavs texted G that you were punched in the face multiple times by a homeless man during filming.
Yes, I was. That is true as well.
With the helmet on?
With the helmet on. That actually, we used the footage in episode 1. There's a point where we were in Times Square and Owen was like, he's like, hey, go get in like a 3-point stance in front of King Kong. And he's like, it should be a funny little clip. And I was like, all right. So I get the 3-point stance in front of Kong, and he's not biting. He's not. I was thinking he was going to get down and we were going to have like a fun little fake football thing, and he's not biting. So I was like, all right, he's standing next to Batman. I was like, I'll get in a 3-point stance in front of Batman. He'll be down to fuck around. So I get in the 3-point stance. But when you're in the mascot head, once you look down, you can't really see anymore. So I'm like in the 3-point stance, I can't really see. And I feel someone pushing me. And in my head, I'm like, oh, Batman wants the smoke. All right. So I start pushing him back. And then he starts pushing back a little harder. And I was like, all right, Batman, relax a little bit. But I give him one more push. And then I just feel across the side of my head just a full clock. And I had the Cookie Monster helmet on, so it was absorbed very, very well. But you could feel the intention behind it. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And I backed away and pulled my helmet off. And there was just a homeless guy head down swinging at me.
He's like, I like Oreos.
And then I'm trying to walk away. And the people behind the camera and Owen and Paz and stuff are like, he wants more. Go back in there. I'm like, he might want more, dude. I don't fucking want any more of that. I don't know. It's playing a homeless.
I've been eating in 4 months.
Yeah, I went down a few weight sizes. Well, Fights, congrats on everything, buddy. Like it's awesome. I'm looking forward to episode 2 and unreal job by you guys for putting yourselves out there and also creating the first ever series like this that Barstool's ever done. Like this isn't like your typical TikTok stuff. This takes time and energy and putting yourself out there. So incredible job on crushing it, and look forward to more, including season 2.
Thank you very much. All thanks go to Mikey Pavanelli and Owen Rhoda. They are unbelievable talents, and we're just lucky to get to work with them. And thank you very much for you guys for having me on, because I was thinking the other day when Biz and Grinnell, you both texted me, I was like, one of my first like really cool moments at Barstool was when Biz followed me. And I was like, I remember tweeting something like, I remember I was sitting in my fucking bedroom in South End in Boston, and I got the notification that Biz followed me, and I just tweeted like, holy shit, Paul Bissonnette like knows who I am or knows what Barstool is or something like that. And then Whit replied, everyone does, you fucking idiot, or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, Paul, Ryan Whitney knows too. This is crazy. So it's a true honor to be on here with you guys. And thank you very much for having me.
Oh, of course, man. Barstool OG. Thank you.
You're the best, buddy.
You're the best.
Oh, last question. What are the chances Dave even knows what Les Mascots is?
Okay, I can answer that because in the Les Mascots group text, we got a clip the other day from Tommy Smokes. Caps locks, we've been mentioned. And it was a clip of Dave at that Saratoga thing this weekend. And he was asking the rest of the table, which was, I think, Dan and Elio and Megan Making Money, maybe. Rico was there as well. He said, has anyone watched that show we did? I think it's Les Mascots or something. So he knows what it's called, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a win. That's a win.
That's it. It's a win. It's a win.
Instead of paying for another load from a horse that won a race, maybe he'll fund another season of Les Mascots.
Exactly.
That's probably the same fucking money, right? The horse races.
That is honestly one more thing I want to give the guys credit for, because we, and again, I mean, they did this with such a low budget. Like we got money. I'm not crying poor or anything like that. But like when we were talking to people in Hollywood and they were like, so how much did it cost to make this? And we would tell them, they would be stupefied. Like it was, I think it was like 20 grand or something like that. Like it was, I don't know where our actual budget ended up. I haven't been monitoring, but it's somewhere in that realm.
That's peanuts.
Yeah, it's not
that's not a lot to work with.
Not a big financial lift. It's a big lift for Owen and Pavs, but for the rest of us, it's pretty manageable.
Wow. And now that Dave knows what it is, you just need to not see a text like, this show sucks. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's actually, I don't know. When we I told this story on what podcast was I on? I forget. But I told this story on a podcast that it was Drop a Pin. I've talked to him occasionally, like once a year, and I've mentioned to him a couple times, like, yeah, we have goals of doing either a show or a movie or something along those lines. And he was always like, yeah, whatever. But I always did make clear to tell him, like, it's not going to be your speed, because I don't think. But then now that this is the show, I don't think Dave would hate it. I don't think it's not his speed, and he wouldn't like it. but it's not as like, I don't know.
Not like corny at all.
Yeah, it's not corny. It's pretty heartfelt, and I think it's a fucking good show. And I think Dave likes good TV. So I don't think he'd hate it, as I once said, but it's not his speed either. So I'm not waiting for the review.
All right, Fights, dude, you're the man.
You're the
Congrats
man,
on
Fights.
everything.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
We'll be tuning in tonight, episode 2. Thank you so much to Jon Feitelberg. Great first episode. Everyone, please check it out. Leave a comment. Subscribe to Out of Order on YouTube. And guys, Jon Gruden, I got to think about what I'm sending this guy. I mean, are you kidding me?
I think you just put him in your will.
I think you need to give him a blowjob.
He's already in it.
Oh, he's in it. All right.
Yeah, I did it quickly while we were interviewing Fights. I got online. I changed my will.
Smart.
Kids don't get anything now. It's
All John.
Jon Gruden sending me this. I mean, I got a package for you, man. And fuck did he ever. What a guy. I just got his address actually from Malasek. So I'm going to figure out what could I ever send the guy to repay him for this?
I'll sign a jersey for you.
This Gronk helmet. By the
Give
way,
him a
boys,
Stranglers jersey.
I look sick in an NFL helmet. Like
Dude, you look like a legitimate D end or a tight end.
Randy Moss, those skinny ass legs.
Yeah, fuck, I flew too. Oh, that actually reminds me. When I mentioned on a recent episode that I ran a 29-minute, 30-second 5-mile test for BU hockey, there was countless people calling me out, sending me messages. You're lying.
Oh, I'll back
I ain't
you on
fucking
that.
lying 1 fucking second about that.
Whit can run.
I flew. Absolutely flew. And my VO2 was nails, and my wind gate wasn't great because that's all power in the legs. I didn't have that. But don't you ever come at me and say I didn't run that 5-mile test 29:30. Suck it.
So you're saying you were running your mile sub 6 minutes?
Yes.
Where do you think
I
you
can
lie
back
now?
him on that.
I will have anyone on, and that was there, and they will vouch for me.
Reggie.
And little did I know that I could have been a fucking wide receiver too. Look at my look.
I know.
Biz.
Actually,
you look way more comfortable as a football player than you did in your Easton helmet.
Yeah, I had some bad helmets.
Wow. You mentioned to me on the phone about this Dallas Cowboys documentary, which is a perfect segue considering you have a fucking football helmet on. You said it's unbelievable. It has a lot to do with Jerry Jones and who's the handsome coach, Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah. Wow, handsome coach. Yeah, he was a handsome fellow.
Oh, he was a handsome guy.
Unreal hair.
Oh, that's salad. It's still
Lego
dope.
head.
I didn't know how crazy he was, but Biz, it's an 8-episode documentary. Really cool. Like, I really am a big fan of these Last Dance type documentaries. Like, I want one on every dynasty ever. We could
I want
do
one on every team.
We could do one on the lack of dynasty from the Big Deal Selects. Maybe it's like an opposite. It's just failure after failure. But I've watched 3 episodes. Phenomenal. First one goes into kind of who Jerry Jones was. Had no clue he's not from Texas. I mean, he's from Arkansas.
Yeah.
I never, ever imagined Jerry Jones wasn't from Texas. And that's a big deal. That's kind of part of when he bought it. The fans were furious. They were calling him a country bumpkin. They were saying, this guy's got no business. Dallas had already been America's team. They were struggling. He came in. He traded Herschel Walker. Then it goes into drafting Emmitt Smith, drafting Troy Aikman, drafting Michael Irving. So I'm 3 episodes into 8. It's awesome that I still got 5 more. I highly recommend.
Getting rid of Tom Landry.
Blue 42.
Yeah, he fired like the Scotty Bowman of the NFL.
Yeah, or Belichick.
Yeah, Belichick of the NFL. Like, and just was kind of like, and this may come off bad because I don't mean it off the field. And I don't really know what Jerry Jones has got into, but he kind of has some like Vince McMahon aura, like where he didn't give a flying fuck what anyone else said. He was just
billionaires
doing
who
it.
don't think the rules apply.
Yeah, kind of. Rules for thee, not for me, unless you're wearing a signed Gronk helmet and a signed Brady jersey. I got no rules.
But Biz, he bought this team and he was in debt. Like he didn't have any money.
Yeah.
Like but Whit, my only thing with that, what you just said, like maybe now because it's all come to fruition, like he can say that. But like, do you think that was his plan going in? Like, all right, this is how I'm gonna do it.
I think he was always like, I'm doing it my way. Biz, the first episode, I mean, it's a spoiler, but not a spoiler. He was in debt $50 million, right? He was an oil man, and these oils were all dry. He was just striking out right and left. And he put everything he had. I mean, I don't know how he had anything being in debt. He got a huge loan, and he went for one more big-ass oil rig, and he fucking made $100 million from it. It just exploded. He said there was oil everywhere, and boom. That's
the
how
way he
got his money.
describes it is like,
yeah, it's awesome. He's very good
man,
at that.
that's his life. And then when he was going to buy the Cowboys, they were off by $300,000 and ended up flipping a coin over the $300,000.
Yep.
And
Brunelli, hop
lost.
on here for a second.
What was the old owner's name? He had such like a Dallas, and he was like Bub or something. He had like a
Jiminy
cool
Crickets?
Southern name. Yeah.
Oh, Doyle the Gargoyle?
I thought the craziest part of all this, though, was like how good Jerry Jones has been for modern sports. Like the way he structured and completely changed how leagues like structure their TV deals to be making so much money. That's one of the episodes. It's so interesting. Biz, I think that's an episode you'd really like, just because like the leagues weren't making a ton of money off their TV deals before. He kind of went in and was like, all right, we're going to do things radically different. He did it with bringing in Nike when the whole league had Reebok merchandising deal. He signed with Nike. When the whole league had a Coke sponsorship, he named his stadium Pepsi Stadium. Like he just went the other way. And now he's old. He's a little crazy. Like, but at the time, he's so responsible for the way like modern sports are in North America.
The way he let he had Michael Irving was one of his first guys. He let him like be the way that he is, like act crazy. But that was before the NFL. Like celebrating a first down or a touchdown was like very, very frowned upon. And like his teams were like doing crazy celebrations. He loved it. He was like, it's more eyes on my team, bringing in the cheerleaders, all that stuff. Like,
did you get to the episode about the White House?
Yeah,
No, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So they talk, I don't want to spoil.
No, yeah.
The Cowboys players had this White House. Michael Irvin was.
Oh, I've heard about this in the book where they would basically go there after they would win Sunday and they'd be there for 24 hours just ripping it.
He's like in one room, it's like coke and ecstasy. The next room, it's weed. He's like in every single room, there's just naked women and you just bop from room to room and no guy would spoil. Who, besides Michael Irvin, no guy would say like who was involved in the house. They're all steel traps. It's pretty cool.
Oh, so Irving was just, oh yeah, this guy was in there doing that. This guy was.
He wouldn't throw any names under the bus either. Irvin was like, you know what? I was the president. But then it montages like them asking like 15 Cowboy players, hey, what's up with the White House? They're like, I don't know nothing about the White House.
Oh yeah, in the vault.
Hey, they were a tight-knit group too. It was pretty
give
sick.
me your guys. If you could see a 6 to 8 episode documentary on a team or a dynasty, like, who would you want that we don't have already?
I'd probably go with the Red Wings just because being such like a Lidstrom fan and the whole like Datsuk and Zetterberg, like them finding those guys like Holmstrom, like that kind of era, and you could bring it back to even a little bit before them. I would
How
probably
about
say
the
the Red
80s
Wings.
Oilers?
I know.
Yeah, I think
Imagine
that's.
that.
I'm not trying to get everybody excited, but I'm pretty sure there's something that's happening right now where that's going to come out. That 5-year stretch, I would imagine at some point with. I mean, I don't know, right?
Even the Islanders would be cool.
I was going to
like
say
those
Islanders
guys
too. I feel like with Wayne involved with the Oilers, that would be so badass. They did have camera crews following them around. I want to say they had one called like Boys on the Bus.
Yeah, that's a great documentary.
So they have a lot of footage already, and yeah, that would probably be my number one.
Hey,
and
imagine they covered the Leafs the last 58 years and the episode was 1 minute long. They're like, oh shit, we got.
It
nothing.
would be interesting to see what the Canadians players were getting away with in their heyday.
Oh my god!
Hey, when they were winning all those ships because they were gods in Montreal.
But there's probably not a ton of those
on the 1996 World Cup of hockey, like Team USA, like that. They were just so loaded. Like imagine them going out like in that tournament, all the stories that they have.
That's a
that
good
would
one.
be fun.
G.
But that couldn't be 6 to 8 episodes. It has to be a dynasty.
Yeah.
We should,
You
we
know
should
what-
do
you know
a
what they should do a
3-part
dynasty
episode of
of?
that.
Is Team Canada, and then just how much they work the United States and all the other countries in international play. That would be a cool one.
Speaking
'Cause
of
they could-
international play,
It would just never end. It would be the never-ending movie.
Yeah.
can you
or
guys
documentary.
explain to me why,
Goosebumps.
or were you as shocked as me when Lane Hudson wasn't one of 16 defensemen invited to the USA camp?
He wasn't?
16D they invited. He didn't like, and I get you have Quinn Hughes. Like, I get you that he's
Who are you
probably
taking
not on-
off?
he's probably not on the team.
Who are you taking off, Whit?
Let me find the list. Tell you who I'm fucking taking off. Fuck kidding me? What do you think? I'm gonna be afraid to fucking take someone off?
Oh,
Yeah,
here
dude,
we
he's
go.
got a fucking.
We
He's
said no
dressed as a
hockey talk.
football
Here we
player. You
go.
don't care.
I mean, I would have had him over Jackson Lacombe. I think Jackson Lacombe is awesome, but he is a guy that isn't making this team, and he's on for the potential next Olympics or next World Cup of hockey. So if that's the case, if you're bringing guys for that reason, I don't understand why.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that kid had a big year in Anaheim. He's big. He can move.
He's
I'm
great.
not taking him off. All right, Brock Faber, no. Fuck Adam Fox. See ya.
Yeah.
Luke Hughes, no. Quinn Hughes, no. Noah Hannafin, no. Seth Jones, no. Jackson Lacombe, no. I'm fine with him. He's young. He'll be on the next team. McAvoy, no. McDonough, see ya. Brett Pesci, see ya. Neil Pionk, see ya. This is all for Lane Hudson.
Whoa. You're taking off Ryan McDonough for Lane Hudson?
Well, here's the thing, Biz. I know Hudson, because of Quinn Hughes, won't be on the team. But if we're talking future and 16 guys, those are guys that I'm inviting Lane Hudson over. Because this isn't just about this team. It's about...
So
it's
you
kind of
don't
about-
think... So Ryan McDonough's not going to make the team?
No.
Okay.
And I love Ryan McDonough.
No, I'm just asking. I would probably, based on what he's done for and championship hockey and
USA hockey.
USA hockey, I feel like I kind of feel like he's earned the right as opposed to like giving it to somebody for the future. I mean,
I agree with that.
So, okay, but that's okay. Any other name? Adam Fox, I feel like he did not have a good Four Nations tournament. I heard he was injured last year. He had a lower body injury, so he also has finished top 3 in Norris voting, so it's hard to say like he's also proven.
Well, I was
think-
told, Biz, I was told that because he's like a genius hockey IQ wise, right? Would you kind of agree Adam Fox is with his skating ability being what it is?
Yeah, you got to be able to think the game.
The
at a
times he's
high level.
dominated, like his mind is at a different level, and his head fakes and all these different skills. But I guess he never really. Now this is what I've been told, so I don't know if it's true, but he never really was like training that hard. Not training, but. And I think this summer, apparently, he's like all in. So let's see if maybe he realized a couple injury seasons. He's like, all right, I got to kind of switch things up, which happens a lot. Apparently, this summer, he's been completely crushing it, working out.
Oh
this
my
is
God. Rangers fans are just beating their meat till you talk about this.
In a Brady jersey with a football helmet on.
We did kind of take an L to Pasha. We did say that Steve Bouillon has just as good a chance as Luke Hughes.
No, that conversation and Pasha's drinking in Montreal has led his memory to be completely ridiculous. We were talking about like young up-and-coming D-man, and we were basically trolling him a little bit in terms of him saying Luke Hughes is going to win 5 Norris trophies. And then I said, a guy like Steve Bouillon could come in and dominate the first half next year and be on the Olympic team over Luke Hughes. And he had a meltdown. He was crying in the lobby of the hotel.
I don't think either of them make it, though.
No,
me neither.
Wait, is Zeev going to the camp?
No, didn't get the invite.
But like Brady Shea's on there. Would you have invited Lane Hudson or Brady Shea, Biz?
Probably Brady because they got enough. Enough skill guys,
different.
right? You gotta.
It's
This kid
hard
had
because
70 points last year.
no, I understand, but
I'm with you.
but
I think he should be there.
You guys did mention like with Quinn there, you're not getting those
No, I
exact
know.
same touches. It's like you have to bring the right personnel. Like who's going to play, who's going to kill penalties and play second unit power play as a reliable guy who's going to get it to even better players than Lane Hudson. Like I'm looking forward to watching him this year and seeing with where he's at, because he's one of those guys that if he has just as hot of a start as he had all of last year, and there's an injury here or there, he could easily find himself on that list. And those guys are completely psycho for hockey. So I would imagine the trajectory and how good they get over even just a summer strength-wise. I try to talk about his defensive play, but was quickly shut down on like he can close on guys and play well defensively. So let's see what he's got. I don't necessarily agree with him replacing McDonough and or Fox, but the first half of the season will tell me everything I need to know. Whether is there another camp before they go over, or do they have to just submit the roster as is?
He's probably on the list, I would imagine, right?
Well, no, I mean, they invited 16D and he didn't get invited. So by the way, like, how many amazing D are on that? Like, I get it. It was just, I was just surprised that he wasn't invited to the camp. But that was our hockey talk on our hockey podcast. Shout out Jon Gruden. Shout out Vincent Damphousse. Shout out John Feitelberg and Les Mascots. Great catching up with you guys. I can't wait for Chiclets Cup. Have you seen the weekend of sports? Chiclets Cup weekend. It's like Georgia, Alabama, the Ryder Cup, the last weekend of Major League Baseball. There's like a bunch of other games. So we got a special weekend brewing in Boston end of September, boys.
See how we do.
Can't wait.
All right. Love you guys. Peace.
Love you.